Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Boy, I wish it would just stay as nice as mild as it is out there right now, but it's not going to. Although tomorrow, not too bad, just a lot of rain, and then where the cool weather comes in is on Sunday, so be ready for that. Today, not all that bad, but probably rain. Does that make sense, or am I?
It does.
I'm going a little backwards on the forecast, but it's what. Last night, President Biden was up on TV saying, in a rare address from the Oval Office, saying we have to support Ukraine, we have to support Israel. For the world, for democracy. And I do think that most people, Republicans and Democrats, at least in Washington, believe that, right?
I think so, yeah.
And that's where it's hard to find a time where we actually can all agree on something. And not everybody agrees, but, that's where we are. And the other part of Kathy Hochul, and I heard your story on her visit over there, which, we have been criticizing, like, what are we doing? Why are we spending this money? Why are you tying up the services needed to protect people for this trip? But did you know that while she was there, she learned of her father died?
Oh, no.
Kathy Hochul's father passed away. The New York governor's father died overnight while she was visiting Israel, with the governor slipping a note grieving her loss into Jerusalem's Western Wall holy site on Thursday. The Democrat learned of her 87-year-old father, John Courtney's, sudden death from a brain hemorrhage in Florida as she embarked on the second day of a trip to show her support for Israel during the war with Hamas. So this was a sudden, unexpected death.
That's terrible.
At the Western Wall, Hochul appeared to wipe away a tear before placing a handwritten note with prayers for Israel for her father into a crack into the limestone wall. She told reporters she spoke to her father from the airport just before she departed for Israel earlier this week, a small smile peeking through as she recalled how he still talked in his gruff Irish way. He passed away unexpectedly at the age of 87. Wow.
That's sad. Thoughts and prayers to the governor. Sorry she's dealing with that.
Can I read it? I want to read this quote, even though it'll be offensive to some, I guess. But this is the quote that Hochul said her father said to her. The last thing he said to her on her way out of the United States, going to Israel, he said, "I'm proud of you, but keep your goddamn head down." That is a quote from Kathy Hochul's father.
Well, and I think you can sense some of the emotion there.
No doubt about it.
Just randomly throwing in curse words, or what used to be considered curse words.
Yeah, well, I guess
I'm very sorry she's dealing with that.
Probably is. So in the midst of all of this criticism, we learned that this has happened. So certainly terrible. It still doesn't change things, though. I mean, I don't understand why. And maybe we just aren't smart enough to understand. Why do we put this investment in when you can show your support right from here, maybe by visiting the Jewish communities in New York City or north of New York City? Might not be a bad idea there. But it is what it is, and she is there. What else? You watch any? Last night, I put a small little bet down on last night's game that would have paid really nicely. Only thing that had to be done is the Saints had to tie the game up at the end. That's all.
Oh, well.
That's all that had to happen. A mere $25 bet. would have paid $2,500.
Hey, now.
And the throw into the end zone, right into his hands, drops the ball on third down. Now it's 4th and goal with seconds left. A throw into the end zone, game over. $25 gone.
So I hit last night because the game didn't end up in a tie. I actually hit a parlay bet I had that was 65-1. I was happy with that. Now again, I bet small.
What did that
pay? Just under $200, $199.
All right.
So yeah, but again, I bet small. So I think I might have put $3 on that.
Oh, you bet small.
I do bet small.
Okay.
But I actually hit 3 different bets last night. I was so happy. I hit one in baseball too.
Good for you. Very nice. Great way to start the weekend.
Yes, it is.
And let's see. Coming up, we'll talk to Willie Waffle. We've been watching a new series at our house, and I want to ask him about it. It's quite interesting, and it's called Beckham. Remember the tennis player, and there's a whole, I believe it's a 4 or 5 episode series.
Oh wait, the tennis player? I'm thinking.
I'm sorry, the soccer player. Did I say tennis?
Yeah.
Beckham. Anyway, the whole story of his play, there was a lot of jealousy because he was probably the first player who just, he ran with the Spice Girls. Yeah. And actually married one of them. They're still together. They're still together today. But it's a very interesting documentary on his life, her life, and the life of soccer. And I think this does because of what's the soccer the series on Apple TV there that's such
about the coach
Ted Lasso.
Yes. Because
of the popularity of Ted Lasso, I think it makes that series more popular today because Ted Lasso was such a big and is such a big series. New Yorkers, New York City people are all excited about the opening of blank in New York City.
New York City people are excited about it?
New York City people excited about the opening of blank in New York City.
They are going to unseal another indictment against the former president.
Okay, this is an opening. Oh, I see. That would be an opening. Yeah. This was the unsealing of a brand new Wegmans.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So it's at Astor Place in the East Village on Wednesday morning. And the Rochester-based supermarket, which people around here are always, boy, I wish someday we'd get a Wegmans. And we're told we'll never get a Wegmans here. I don't know why, but New York City now has one. And however, it's very interesting. It's a Utica thing. Has their sauces and tomato pie available in Wegmans.
No kidding.
So now, where else do you hear it's a Utica thing? Where else do you hear tomato pie? You've heard bakery pizza, they'll call it. Philadelphia has a version. Mm-hmm. My daughter said, because she went to the Wegmans to check it out, opening on Wednesday, they actually have a product called tomato pie now, and it is identical to Utica tomato pie.
Okay.
And it is new to their lineup, by the way. And I think it's just a good example of, this product that we're getting from this Utica business, Utica tomato pie, I bet we could duplicate it and do our own, and they certainly do. Now, tomato pie is also, there was a version of it in Providence. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia is known for it. Oftentimes they'll call it bakery pizza.
Yep.
So it's not, this is not invented or created here by any means. Mm-hmm. But calling it tomato pie is kind of unique to this area in the same way that Riggies. Rigatonis are never called Riggies, to my knowledge, anywhere else.
Right.
But here, when you say Riggies here, people from somewhere else will say, I don't know what that is. What is a Riggie?
Right.
Anyway, tomato pie now available at Wegmans, and it's kind of our style. Tomato pie available at Wegmans in New York City.
Now, do
you care?
Do you know the reason they won't expand into this direction?
The story has always been that I have heard is that there was an agreement between the two families, the family that owns Wegmans and the family that owns Price Chopper, always agreed. Yet I kind of think there's a Price Chopper in Syracuse.
I think there is, yeah.
I don't know that that's a true story at all, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, is it up there with the Sangertown sinks 3 inches every year?
Might be. Has it sunk completely yet? Because it's been quite a few years. New York's top-selling Halloween candy. CandyStore.com put out this is done every year, and they list each state and what the favorite candies are for each state at Halloween time. And what do you think our top 3 is here in New York?
I want to say I don't like this candy, but I think Twizzlers might be one.
Another one?
Hershey's bars, and then maybe Reese's peanut butter cups.
I would think the Reese's peanut butter cup would be it. Candy corn is number 3.
What?
Give me a break. Number 2 is hot tamales.
Okay. No,
Are you kidding me?
I was going to throw the hot tamales out there.
And number 1, though, I kind of think you hear a lot of kids talk about is Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, Sour Patch Kids are popular.
Like my kids will get through Amazon, get a giant bag of Sour Patch Kids. So we always have a supply of Sour Patch Kids. But if I give Sour Patch Kids to a kid on Halloween, I think the kid's going to look at me and be like, where's the candy bar?
So this was, you were away. This was a couple of weeks ago. They had a list, and they broke it down by state, and they said by each state, and again, there's a variety of these kind of surveys. It said these are the most popular candies in each of the following states, right? So candy corn was only a top candy in a couple of states, one of them being Idaho. I can't remember which states were on the list, but there were, I think, 3 states that had hot tamales as their second highest candy seller. And that blows my mind. With all the different candies out there, hot tamales?
I know. I don't get it. Richard this morning says years ago they made a deal with, this is the story that I've heard. Years ago they made a deal with Price Chopper never to open in the Utica area. That's why we won't get a Wegmans. I have heard that story. I just find it, why Utica? And yet there's a Price Chopper in Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm looking right here. There's actually one on Erie Boulevard East, and there's one on Onondaga Boulevard also.
I don't understand why that would happen. But Richard, I've heard the same story. By the way, most popular candies across the United States, according to CandyStore.com, not in New York per se. Now, these guys are very good at coming up with these lists because they base it on sales.
Receipts, yeah.
Right? It's which probably makes it a more accurate list than when a lot of these organizations, these websites, do these stupid lists. But the number 5 top candy, I'll give you 10. Snickers is number 10. Love the Snickers bar.
Okay.
Hershey's mini bars are number 9. Candy corn is number 8.
That's not true.
Hershey's Kisses, 8 for Halloween. And remember, it's based on sales. I do think a lot of people buy candy corn to just put in the candy dish because that's what you do at Halloween time. I don't think anybody eats them. I think it's in the candy dish until Halloween and Thanksgiving is over, and then you dump it out. That's why I think
could be.
Candy corn is more of a decoration than it is a candy that's consumed. Hershey's Kisses is number 7. Starburst, number 6. Sour Patch Kids nationwide, number 5. Skittles, number 4. Skittles is huge with younger kids. Hot tamales, number 3. Where are the hot tamales so big?
I don't know.
Number 2 is M&M's. Makes sense. And number 1, you said Reese's. Other people say Reese's.
Oh.
It is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Well,
it is number 1 nationwide.
We are talking about the same product. The pronunciation might be different. I will tell you that I just recently bought 2 sleeves. You know, they come in like 5-packs now, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Yeah. And, man, you'd want to talk about shrinkflation. Are you familiar with this? I was trying to explain to my son that when I was his age, the cups were much bigger, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and I don't think it was a perception thing. I do think the products were bigger.
I feel like there's a whole thing where you can get the normal size Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, but then you can also, a lot of times in those bags of assorted candies, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are... Got a lot of yellers. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. This is also a brothel. 7 a.m. it closes down, turns back into a radio station. So, but I think the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups in the bags are smaller. Now, I'm not talking about the little mini cups. I'm talking about the literal Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. They're smaller. So what your kid most likely will get at Halloween is a smaller, less expensive Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I want to go to this in Onondaga. A couple of Syracuse stories that caught my eye this morning. Deputies and other officers used dogs and a drone to find a naked woman lost in the town of Onondaga Thursday morning. Not only was she naked, but she was lost. Just before 5 a.m., a passerby driving on Cleveland Road spotted the woman in the road and called 911. Why do I think that we might need to shut this door? Because apparently this is we're coming to the... It's a little loud down there. On the scene, anyway, the woman running around, they did find her clothes on the ground. Not sure what happened, but ultimately they did find her in a wooded area. I don't know what went on, but it probably involved something to cause someone to rip their clothes off and run through the woods.
Yes.
And it probably wasn't a bet. And then one more out of Syracuse. They had, of all places, downtown Syracuse, a fox attack. There was a rabid fox, and 3 people were bitten before the fox was ultimately killed.
Oh my goodness! So they're going to have to do the post-exposure.
Oh, that's quite the experience.
Yeah, I've heard it's very painful.
Yeah, you have to go through several shots, et cetera, et cetera. But it's something you really have to do. A rural upstate New York judge has been removed from the bench. A rural judge in New York who pulled a gun. This happened in about an hour and a half north of Albany.
Okay.
A rural upstate New York judge who pulled a gun on a black man in court and later bragged about it has been removed from his position by the state's highest court.
What?
Robert Pitorti, justice of both the Whitehall Town and Village Courts, was removed effective immediately Thursday morning. The State Court of Appeals ordered the removal that was recommended by the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. He had served as a justice since 2014 up there. Pitorti is white, was presiding over a case in 2015 when the plaintiff, a 6-foot black man, allegedly crossed a stop line in front of the justice's bench. So apparently there is a line where you cannot go past, otherwise the bailiff will come in or whatever. Maybe
the judge will pull out his gun.
Or the judge reaches from underneath his bench and pulls out a gun. The man crossed the stop line in front of the justice's bench. The judge then pulled out a semi-automatic handgun he was licensed to carry. The judge would later several times boast about his actions, such as at a 2018 meeting with other judges, which included his supervisor. The judge described him as a 6-foot, 9-inch tall, built like a football player black man. The man was actually 6 feet tall and 165 pounds, according to the commission.
Well, flag football. Built like a flag football player.
He did have the black part right. He was a black man.
Jeez.
That part he got right.
Oh, boy, folks.
What is going on here? Now, that happened in 2015. It's been quite a while.
I had never heard that story.
And Senator Schumer is stepping in, and I think it's one of those stories that kept being told so many times. It finally made its way to the Ethics Committee, or whatever they have in place in New York State Judicial Committee, and it eventually was told so many times they reviewed it, investigated it, and ultimately he has now just been removed from the bench.
Oh, you're talking about the judge. I thought the Schumer story.
Oh, the Schumer story steps in to try to speed up reimbursement for Rome Memorial Hospital. Chuck Schumer has written a letter to the head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency in order to help Rome Health cut through red tape to speed up the release of pandemic reimbursements. What I don't understand about this is you have all of these pandemic reimbursements that we've heard about where big, wealthy private universities have gotten money. This group, which wasn't even really a business, got money. This was, the government was scammed out of so much money. Mm-hmm. Then you have a legitimate organization like a hospital, and hospitals went through so much during COVID. If you recall, Rome Hospital was the first during COVID to have a COVID case in Oneida County.
Oh, I didn't remember that, but
it was the first. It was the first case out there, and if you recall, there were cases popping up all over the country, and then I remember we were out somewhere, and the alert came across: COVID has hit Oneida County.
Yeah,
and it was at Rome Memorial. Anyway,
but you make a good point. They were quick to pay out fraudulent claims, apparently. But
what about the organizations that really were on the front line of this pandemic? Schumer said that Rome Health is owed $4,314,985 and 69 cents in reimbursements from FEMA following the COVID-19 pandemic. He said the money was obligated on July 27th. 2023, and New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services completed its administrative closure review on August 16th. They should have the money by now, but they do not. So Schumer has stepped in.
Well, and you mentioned the prior story with involving the judge. There was a case yesterday. It was actually a retrial in Herkimer County Court. Do you remember? It was a shooting that occurred up in the Adirondacks in the town of Webb.
Yep.
Frank Policelli did this case, and he got the verdict. It was a conviction for murder, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. He got that overturned. Stephen Swanton is the defendant's name. Well, he was in court yesterday because they're retrying the case that was overturned, and they're in the jury selection process. Policelli, my understanding is, and I don't know the exact reason. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. I don't know the exact reason for this, but he, during the process, raised an objection and said, I'm requesting a mistrial, and the judge agreed with him.
Wow.
And granted a mistrial. So now they're going to go to a third trial in this case, and it's set to begin in January. I wrote about it, and you can find that story on our website. But that involved a New York City firefighter. I believe he may have served on 9/11.
Completely remember that story. It's up on our website at WIBX950.com, so you can check that out. Also, a couple of comments here this morning. Megan, who is... she does news in the afternoon on WIBX, says, I can confirm one person who at Town Square loves candy corn. Envy down the hallway is a big candy corn fan. What station is she on? We have 5 stations here.
Light.
I can't keep track. 5 stations and many people who are very loud, as a matter of fact, down the hallway.
Well, today they are.
Very loud. And then, Mike, candy corn is like the fruitcake of candy. No one ever eats it, but it's given away.
Yeah, it's probably good.
Absolutely correct.
Everyone's got it in their candy dish, but then as soon as
anybody
November 1st,
really,
right in the trash.
Does anybody really eat it? All right, stand by. We're coming right back. We'll speak with Willie Waffle. 6:45, and from streaming to what's going on at the movies, there's a new movie out this week that looks like could be a real blockbuster with some heavy hitters. Let's see what Willie thinks of it. It's 6:46 at WIBX.
Hi, it's Joe Carbone from Power Sports of Utica. It's our end of the model year blowout sale with over 450 units for sale. Save up to $3,500 on side-by-sides, $3,000 on snowmobiles, $3,000 on watercraft, up to $2,000 on 4x4s. Financing is
All right, let's go to the man. As we head into this rainy weekend, it's going to be much colder this weekend, and we might even have a frost by the end of the weekend. It may be the time to really pay attention to movies, entertainment, streaming. What are you going to do instead of being outside? And here he is, the man with a plan, Willie Waffle. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's everything going?
I love you call him the man with the plan. His plan is to stay in and watch something good on TV tonight.
Well, that's the plan. That is the
always the plan. I mean, what other plan should there be? Do you know that when you go out and interact with people, bad things happen? Don't you know that?
That is true. So you could, although I guess in the movie theaters you are interacting with people.
Well, ideally not. I mean, in a movie theater, ideally you're watching the movie, the people in the movie are watching the movie,
and hopefully
they're not interacting and talking and singing and dancing like they are next door in that Taylor Swift theater, let me tell you.
That is, so it's funny, I talked to one younger person who said, actually, it might even be Devin. Was it you that said this, Devin, the other day? You would have gone to the Taylor Swift movie, but the thought that everybody was treating it like it was a real concert.
Yeah,
right? You were the one?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. I'm hearing that from people. It's like, I don't want to be a part of it. It looks stupid.
No, it's being encouraged by Taylor Swift, the cult leader herself.
That's right.
So
she is the cult leader.
So you gotta know going in. I mean, let me tell you how it impacts things. Let me tell you how it impacts. So last night I was watching the Martin Scorsese movie Killers of the Flower Moon.
This is what I want to know about. This is going to be something, I think.
And I'm next door to the Taylor Swift movie, and the Scorsese movie is kind of quiet and has its deep, thoughtful moments. And next door, I'm hearing "Shake It Off, Shake It Off, Shake It Off," because I can hear that movie almost better than I can hear the movie I'm watching.
You know why? Because the problem is that they're playing it in so many theaters now. It's like in 6 or 7 theaters. Yeah, you're right. They're making a lot of money. All right, so we'll get to all of that. I hate to be so self-indulgent, but first of all, I'll get to the movie in a second because I'm excited about this movie. But we started watching, and maybe this has been around for a long time, but they're doing a lot of repackaging and reissuing things that were, maybe released 5 years ago. I don't know about Beckham, if it's brand new or not. But we're really stuck on that. We're through episode 1, and it is quite interesting.
Yeah, so this is one of the new Netflix docu-series. It's, the story of Beckham and everything that's happened in his life and his family and his wife. And it's actually the #1 thing on Netflix right now. It's something like 11.6 million views over the course of a week. It is brand new. You just kind of, you came upon it maybe a couple days later.
A couple of days late. Well, I'm usually a couple days late and many dollars short. That's my life.
If everything I've heard is that it's fascinating. I've avoided it because I just hate self-serving documentary series. Like I was worried that, oh God, they're just going to be lying about how fantastic they are and how wonderful their lives are, and then they'll throw in some phony baloney crisis that they had to overcome that wouldn't matter. But I hear that it's actually quite deep. It's quite revealing.
The one thing of course we're only into episode number 1, but and by the way, I think he might be prettier than her. To be honest,
easily.
Right? They're both very good-looking people. Even today, as they've aged, they're still very good-looking people. But I got to say that there was a major amount of jealousy with him on the field and off the field, which cost him, I think, probably his soccer career.
Yeah, I mean, when they make a whole movie called "Bend It Like Beckham," the other soccer players aren't very happy with you.
You're probably right.
They want to take down the pretty boy. They want to take down the guy who is getting all the attention that they feel they deserve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you seen that? Like people talk about Derek Jeter like this. Like I think Derek Jeter is one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived.
Sure.
But there are people like, oh, he was just an average shortstop.
Right.
Well, they're angry. They're jealous. They want to support an underdog, not the guy who's famous.
I think you're right. I think there is a. It's almost like the thing that you remember in high school with music. It's like people would love. They loved Peter Gabriel until one of his songs hit the top 40, and then all of a sudden he had sold out and he was no good anymore. Okay, let's switch. By the way, Willie Waffle, wafflemovies.com. Willie has been reviewing entertainment and movies for us. How long, Willie? I mean, we're going back.
Gosh, a while.
Many years.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I want to say, oh, Lord, 15 years, 16 years
at
maybe?
least. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of hair ago is how I look at it.
Well, I'm lucky. I kept mine. I'm
did.
very proud of that.
You're
I
doing
want to
very
make
well.
that very clear. I still have my hair.
You're doing well. All right, Scorsese. This movie has been promoted for quite some time. I was shocked to find out it was actually going to be only in theaters to start, and that's how we're debuting, and you've seen it. What do you think?
Yeah, so it's called Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, this will be on Apple TV Plus soon. That's who financed this. That's who's behind the movie. You're right. There was really the original intention to maybe put it out in theaters just to let people know it was around, and then rush it to Apple TV Plus and have that be something that would drive subscriptions there. It looks like it might stay in theaters a little bit longer because they're really trying to make a big Oscar push, and for very good reasons. So it's based on the true story. It is set in the 1920s in Oklahoma, and we learn about the Native Americans who are in the area who have found oil on their land, and they have become among the richest people on the planet, like literally among the richest people on the planet. And around them has grown this white community that is they're a service industry. They're drivers. They're taking care of the houses. They're maids. They're barbers. They're people who are kind of servicing that economy, and some of them aren't very happy about it.
Yeah.
And so we see Robert De Niro as this local town, kind of town father, if you will, who has developed a scheme. He and people around him are marrying the Native American women so that they can get the land rights to the oil money, and the plan is when they pass off, that will now be owned by these people. Well, they're not willing to wait, and so there are Native Americans being murdered at every turn.
Wow.
And now the FBI is looking into this.
And this is a true story, right? Based on a true story.
This happened, people. This literally happened, and so it really is just this slow building movie that I love the way it builds. Oh my God! I mean, starting off so quiet, so innocent. Leonardo DiCaprio, the new guy in town. He's Robert De Niro's nephew in the movie, and he starts to see the opportunity. He marries off with one of the Native American women, and we see him getting deeper and deeper into this scheme, into this just effort to steal what is rightfully not theirs. And we see him getting more evil and more evil as the movie goes along. It really is kind of a gangster movie in a lot of ways, as we see the extent of the law breaking that these people are willing to go through to just steal this money, to steal this land, and how it all plays out and what the final outcome would be.
What do you give this?
I'm giving it 4 waffles.
Wow.
I love it. I think there's just some really great dialogue in here. I mean, obviously, some of the best acting you're ever going to see, and just that emotional and intense build that plays out over 3.5 hours. I'm not going to lie to you guys; it's 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
But man, it doesn't feel like that. You really do get engrossed in this story and in the storytelling, and just I think it's one of the best movies of the year, easily.
This could be one that brings you back to the movie theater.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, I in all honesty, I don't think you lose anything by watching it on streaming.
Okay.
How
long before it'll be streamed?
It's not a special effects spectacle.
How long before it'll be streamed?
I think that's up in the air.
Okay.
They're kind of waiting back, I think, to see if it strikes any gold at the theater.
Okay.
Obviously, it's not going to beat Taylor Swift. Let's not get crazy.
No doubt
there.
about it. Right.
But if they feel that they can get, $50, $60, $70 million out of a theatrical run, they may keep it there a little bit longer before dropping it onto streaming. That's kind of like what happened with the Netflix movie Air, the one that was about Michael Jordan and the shoe and the shoe deal.
Right.
And, they originally didn't plan on living it in theaters that long, but it was doing so well, they're like, well, let's just keep raking in the money.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long it is until it hits Apple.
And what's it called again?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon. All right, 4 waffles out of 4 waffles, says Willie Waffle. Not bad. I don't think I've heard you say that in a long time.
I know.
It feels like it's been a really long time.
Not since Porky's 2, do I believe that he's gone out on a limb for a movie like this one. All right, and then, remember those years.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin in Jeopardy again. I didn't know that they could actually do this, but it looks like they are.
It was a double Jeopardy.
A double Jeopardy, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Alec Baldwin could be facing charges again. So, they never really followed through on taking him to court and charging him with any kind of crime related to that horrible accident that happened on the set of his movie Rust. And the prosecutors in New Mexico, after kind of stopping the grand jury and not taking any charges months ago, they said, we reserve the right to bring these charges again if there's new evidence. And this week they said, we got new evidence. We're getting the grand jury together in a couple weeks. Wow. Now, what that evidence is, we don't know. But, they feel now that they have more evidence to take to put charges on Alec Baldwin. So he could be facing a lot of time in a courtroom very, very soon.
All right, good stuff there, Willie. The movie to see this weekend, Killers of the Flower Moon. All right. Check it out. Willie, thank you. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there. Thanks so much.
You guys, I'll talk to you next week.
Willie Waffle, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Remember, Jimmy Fallon tickets are on sale, and the show is coming up along with Kennedy from formerly of MTV, coming up on Veterans Day at the Stanley Theater. And you can pick up your tickets. I heard from somebody just yesterday who I knew was going to go, Stefan. He's gotten his tickets, so he will be there. Go to Ticketmaster.com. News is coming up next, WIBX Utica, Rome.
He wants the U.S. to do more to help Israel. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The United States and our partners across the region are working to build a better future for the Middle East.
President Biden addressing us from the White House, where Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Describing Hamas as pure, unadulterated evil, the president says the U.S. must ensure Israel has what it needs to protect its people today and always.
That will sharpen Israel's qualitative military edge.
President Biden says a security package will also make sure other hostile actors know Israel is stronger than ever and prevent the conflict with Hamas from spreading.
But a majority of the president's $100 million request to Congress isn't military aid to Israel. Some of it's for Ukraine, a lot of it, to fend off Russia's invasion.
Weapons they need to defend themselves and their country without interruption.
Some Republicans do not support that. Presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy says,
I am worried from Ukraine to what's happening in the Middle East. We are quietly sleepwalking our way into World War III.
And Day 14 of Israel's war against Hamas, and as both sides keep attacking each other, a ground invasion is considered imminent. Israeli Defense Forces Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner tells Fox.
Israeli society is very, very prepared for a long fight against this terrorist organization.
We'll hear from Jim Jordan this morning, and he may seek a third vote in his attempt to be House Speaker. Congressman Scott Fitzgerald supports him and just told Fox Business.
We're not sure. A lot can change even overnight on where some of these members are.
Some Republicans refused to back Jordan. He came up 17, then 18 votes shy in two prior attempts. A circuit court judge was gunned down in his own driveway last night in Hagerstown, Maryland. Andrew Wilkinson found shot, bleeding, rushed to a hospital where he died. Police still looking for the killer. In Washington, D.C., a police officer was shot and seriously wounded, but is stable this morning. The gunman was killed and police returned fire. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Pure Talk, America's wireless company, is on a mission to alleviate $10 million in military debt by Veterans Day, but they're going to need your help. Now, Pure Talk will donate a percentage of every new order to this great cause. When you make the switch, they make it simple, fast, and easy to their super fast 5G network. Talk, text, plenty of data now, only at $20 a month. Do it right now. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword SAVE NOW. Make the switch to Pure Talk, and you can help a military member in need.
Cloudy skies, 55 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Buy any 4 installed Nokian snow or all-weather tires and get a $100 instant rebate. The retrial of a murder case involving a retired New York City firefighter who was shot by a neighbor in the Adirondacks ended suddenly in a mistrial on Thursday. This was happening in Herkimer County. Stephen Swanton of Rochester was found guilty of second-degree murder, 2 counts of assault, and criminal use of a firearm in connection with a September 2020 incident where he allegedly shot a neighbor to his seasonal home in the Adirondacks and another man. After being found guilty of those charges, the results of the trial and conviction were overturned following an appeal to the New York State Supreme Court's Appellate Division. They unanimously reversed that verdict in the spring. This week, jury selection for the retrial got underway, but was called off yesterday when a mistrial was declared. You can read more on the story at WIBX950.com. Governor Kathy Hochul is back in the U.S. after spending a few days in Israel. The governor talked about her trip yesterday, saying she spoke with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other leaders during the visit. The governor also expressed a desire for American hostages to return home, including those who are connected to New York State. Well, after several months of work, the Adirondack Railroad is ready to resume service to Tupper Lake. Miles of lines had been rendered inoperable due to repeated washouts and storm damage in August. Multiple lines were shut down for repair. Adirondack Railroad officials say service to Tupper Lake is about to be restored, with service connecting to the Utica area and Old Forge next week. The company previously reopened passenger service between Utica and Old Forge back on August 17th. The New York State DEC charging a hunter who was illegally hunting on private property. DEC officials say they were called to a location in Fallsburg. The owner provided enough information to help authorities locate the trespassers. After interviewing 3 of the suspects, they ultimately charged the shooter of the deer with 6 different environmental laws, violating 6 different laws, including hunting without a license, taking deer out of season, and trespassing on private property. Officials say they seized the shooter's rifle, his spotlight, and his deer. And a touching story out of the city of Utica. An upstate New York cop handling a recent theft case by doing something that's not included in the police handbooks. After a little girl in Utica had her bicycle stolen recently, Utica police investigator Jessica Dodge returned to the young victim's home with some good news and some bad news. The bad news was cops had not found her bike yet, but they just so happened to locate one that was identical to the one that was stolen. And they presented the young girl with that bike. You can see photos and the girl's reaction on our website at WIBX950.com. Right now, we have mostly cloudy skies, 55 degrees. It is 7:06. Looking at rain showers possible today and for part of the weekend as well, much of the weekend, I should say. Your forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News. Today, a slight chance of showers after 3 p.m., otherwise cloudy today with a high of 65. Showers likely overnight, a low of 53. Saturday, rain, a high of 57. Sunday, showers likely, a high of 47. Monday, mostly sunny, and a high of 52. It's cooler than where we are right now. Cloudy 55 at 7:07. All right, in sports, we'll begin with the baseball playoffs. The Houston Astros are back in the series. They've won 2 on the road against the Rangers. 10-3 the final last night. Jose Abreu and Yordan Alvarez, who's been red hot, each had 3 RBI for the Stros. In Phoenix, the Diamondbacks are on the board as they got a 2-1 walk-off win in the bottom of the 9th at Chase Field to beat the Phillies. Ketel Marte drove in the game-winning run on an RBI single. They now trail in the series 2-1. Both of those series resume today. Football last night, Jacksonville kicked off Week 7 with a 31-24 victory over the Saints in New Orleans. Trevor Lawrence threw a 44-yard touchdown pass to Christian Kirk late in the fourth quarter as the Jags improved to 5-2 on the season. An 8-person ballot has been released for the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee's class of 2024. It includes former managers Jimmy Leland, Lou Piniella, Cito Gaston, and Davey Johnson, along with former umpires Joe West and Ed Montague, former NL President Bill White, and former GM Hank Peters. All candidates are still alive except for Peters. Anyone who receives votes on 75% of the ballots cast will be inducted into Cooperstown next July. Syracuse football off this weekend. They'll actually play next Thursday night on the road at Virginia Tech. Local athletics, Utica University men's hockey. They're in an exhibition tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center, a 7 p.m. start as they face off with the USA 18U national team. Utica Pioneer football is on the road at Alfred. And locals in football this weekend, Buffalo plays at New England. The Giants will host the Washington Commanders. WIBX News Time is 7:09.
Pioneers tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center.
I mentioned.
And we're going to give you a chance to win some tickets to that coming up for tonight's game. This is really going to be a cool night because it's Team USA, right? 18 and under. So they'll be wearing the Team USA uniforms. And Heenan, on the air with us the other day, I thought this was pretty good, talked about the fact that they've been playing exhibition, this team, for several years. And it's amazing to look to the NHL because many of these players go on to play in the NHL.
Absolutely. So, a lot of up-and-coming young talent there.
And, oh, by the way, I believe the final was 8-1. Team USA beat Division I Boston University just a week and a half ago. So this is going to be a tough game, but it'll be pretty cool to see. All right, we have a full hour. We're going to talk about Jimmy Fallon and how veterans are going to walk away with tickets to see Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy at the Adirondack Bank Center coming up on Veterans Day. Pretty excited about it. We'll speak with Vince Scalise from the Utica Center for Development and how this is all working out. Steve Raffaero was on. He is the GOP vice chair in Utica.
He wants to raise an issue, and there might be a question if you're a fan of Utica politics and, of course, the current mayoral race. Stay tuned for that.
All right. Assemblywoman Marion Button, Sean, and a professor from Hamilton College, Professor Cody Couture. And this is interesting to explain. You're oftentimes hearing inflation versus the economy, and where the economy is right now is compared to the rest of the world. Economists will tell you, actually, the economy is in really pretty good shape. While we may be vulnerable right now, it's in pretty good shape. Why doesn't it feel that way? So somebody to get into the nuts and bolts of the economy is Professor Couture. We'll speak with him coming up next on WIBX.
Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo.
As a business person, I saw Rome stalling, ran on a platform of a new beginning where we needed to concentrate on economic development, housing, jobs. And I think we've delivered on all of those. But not only that, we've done so much more. We've taken care of our infrastructure. We have increased job opportunities throughout the community. We've brought in over $70 million in grant money. Private sector investment is up near $350 million, probably more than at any time, even when Griffiths was built. And so the new beginning really doesn't have an end. That's why we need to continue this great work into the next 4 years. This has been the best experience of my life and the most humbling experience to work for the taxpayers of the city of Rome. And I hope that you will give me that opportunity to continue our work this November with your vote.
On Election Day, vote to re-elect Mayor Jackie Izzo. Let's keep Rome moving forward. Paid for by friends of Jackie Izzo.
John and Marie heard about Mattress Express's newest promotion where you simply stop in, perform a simple comfort test, and get a prepaid $25 Visa card. They went to Mattress Express's location in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. They tried Tempur-Pedic. They tried Stearns & Foster. They tried the 9 different purple mattresses. They loved them all. They settled on the Q9 King number bed by Instant Comfort in a flex head. John liked his side firm. We set it to 40, elevated his head and feet, said he'd never never been more comfortable. Marie liked her side softer. She was an 18. What a difference. Elevated her head a little higher, her feet a little less. They said it was like they were each in their own custom bed. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, did not give us a nickel up front. They, for their luxury rewards, selected a 75-inch flat screen TV. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Come to any Mattress Express, perform a simple comfort test and get a $25 prepaid Visa card.
Hey, Jen. OMG, look how busy it is in here. How'd you get all these customers?
Yeah, this month has been a record breaker for us. For a long time, we had decent business coming in from word of mouth, but we weren't growing. Lately, though, a lot of new folks have been finding us online, and that's made all the difference.
That's terrific. I wish I could figure out how to do that for my shop, but I have no idea where to start.
Just do what I did. It's not as hard as you'd think. Go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there are for businesses like yours.
Okay, then what?
If you see that there are a good number of clients searching in our area, you'll also get some suggestions for the best way to get their attention.
Do you think there are a lot of people searching for my business?
There's only one way to find out. Go to mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, easy, and free.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Hi, it's Joe Carbone from Power Sports of Utica. It's our end of the model year blowout sale. With over 450 units for sale. Save up to $3,500 on side-by-sides, $3,000 on snowmobiles, $3,000 on watercraft, up to $2,000 on 4x4s, financing as low as 1.99. Save thousands on all used inventory. Save up to 70% on general merchandise. October 16th through the 28th.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their staff who know that every vehicle is different. And right now, it's the pre-season tire sale at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Buy any 4 installed Nokian Snow or all-weather tires and get a $100 instant rebate. Get the tires you and your vehicle deserve at the best prices guaranteed. From Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At SimpliSafe, our award-winning home security has advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this, 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Now get 45% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
It's all right. You're all right. You're good. You're good. I'm busting your chops. Listen, I want to tell you about River Hills Properties, fastest growing real estate company in central New York. Just spoke with Andrew the other day, who began telling me just a few tips on when you're talking about River Hills.
Yeah.
I'm like, Andrew, stop right there. I've been doing this commercial since you were a child, for God's sakes. But he's now the expert, right? He really is. He's one of the many real estate agents, listing agents at River Hills Properties who know what they're doing, and they know how to make your life easier and how to work for you and help you sell your home. They go out of their way. It's all about how can we make your life easier? How can we work for you? And that makes all the difference in the world. It's how we met, Bill and Robin, my wife and I. We were selling our home. We could not find a real estate agency to do the things that we wanted. And that included being there when the house was shown to other people. We just wanted somebody there who represented us. Nobody would do it. But River Hills did, and it turns out it's what they do for everybody. You could be selling a $35,000 mobile home, and they'll be there when that mobile home is shown. you know you have that peace of mind with River Hills Properties. In Barnaville, Little Falls, Utica, online it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. The #1 independent real estate agency in the area. 15 years ago, they didn't even know their name. They were just getting started. Look at them today. 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Like, yeah, few tips on the next time you. Here's a few things you can, Andrew. No. Oh, I'm kidding. All right, let's talk a little bit about the economy. We're hearing. So what are we hearing? We're here. So inflation.
Yeah, well,
you're
I
paying.
thought you described it well. We hear that the economy is doing well, but it just doesn't feel that way.
That's a very good way of putting it. And also in comparison to what economies are doing around the world. And then you look at the value of the dollar. We had traveled to Europe over the summer, and for the first time, the euro and the dollar were equivalent, at least for the first time since we've ever done any traveling. So what does all of it mean? And why does it just not feel all that great when you go to the grocery store and you're spending so much more than you used to spend? Professor Cody Couture is with Hamilton College. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Did I lay it out there? Manaski thinks I did. He thinks...
I thought that was a good way to describe it.
I think
because
I think
if for a lot of people, it feels like when the prices went up with inflation, you're like, why am I paying so much for the same goods and products I was paying so much less for, whether it was 6 months ago or a couple of years ago? I think that's come down a little bit, but so it doesn't feel great. But you hear the economy's doing really well, and all these businesses are trying to hire people. They can't seem to find the people. Right, we talk about this all the time. Where did the workforce go?
And if I could add one more thing, then you have the experts trying to slow down the economy. It's like, slow it down. We're trying to just get ramped up here. All right. In a nutshell, Cody. Good morning.
Good morning. So, I mean, you're exactly right. So we have basically two things that are going on at the same time, right? We have inflation that is high. Not as high as it was a year ago when it was about 9%, but still around 4% or something like that, which is above where sort of the experts want it to be. But on the flip side, we have a labor market that's really strong. Right now, unemployment's under 4%, which is, historically speaking, incredibly good. And sort of GDP growth, or sort of how much the economy is growing, also looks pretty good. And so you sort of have these two different things to deal with. The Fed or the experts are sort of focusing on inflation right now. That's what they're most worried about. And so they're going to do what they feel like they need to do to make sure that stays down, make sure that those grocery prices, don't keep going up, even if that means, sort of pushing the economy to not sort of fall, but to grow less slowly.
How do you compare it? Because a lot of times the economy becomes very political. Of course, gas prices, the president always owns the gas prices. Yet, I always wondered why gas prices were high under George Bush, because, if anybody's going to have contacts with those Texas oil refineries, it would be the Bush family. But the president doesn't play much of a role when it comes to gas prices. So you look at gas prices, you look at what we went through with COVID. But then oftentimes Republicans really are strong believers of deregulation, so that deregulation can save big corporations a lot of money. On the other hand, the Clinton years were really good, but none better. The economy was no better, I guess, than how we felt under President Trump. So explain the politics and the economy and where we are today.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, one sort of big tricky thing about politics and the economy is that it's often yesterday's policies that impact today's economy, right? So you might see the impacts of a previous administration's policies on what's going on today. The other sort of side here is there's a lot of sort of international impacts that are going to impact things like gas prices, right? So if there's a war in the Middle East or something like that, sort of Russia and Ukraine, right? Things that are largely outside of the party's control, that's going to push up gas prices, both domestically and abroad. So certainly, the president and Congress have some impact on how the economy is doing, but there's a lot of sort of things that have happened 5 years ago or things that are happening internationally that are driving what's going on.
So inflation, for instance, is the economy is moving so quickly we can't keep up with it?
Yeah, I mean, one thing about inflation is if you look around the world, right, this is, it's not like the U.S. is doing something horribly bad here, right? Inflation has been really high in the U.K. and in Europe, sort of all over. And in fact, it sort of looks like, the U.S. looks stronger than a lot of these other countries in terms of, growth and unemployment.
Certainly the dollar stronger than it has been comparatively with other nations around the world.
Yeah, the dollar, I think it's maybe ticked down slightly over the last 6 months, but incredibly strong to where it's been, relative to 5 years ago, just sort of showcasing how robust the U.S. economy has been, particularly relative to Europe.
And there's another very interesting aspect to all of this. When 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if you remember when gas prices came down so low, it was awesome for the end user. It was great for us. It was probably very good for parts of the economy. But with the price of oil, the barrel price of oil so low, it really put a lot of those the oil industry in the United States and in Texas in particular, the refineries, it put a lot of them out of business.
Yes, it did. And, they sort of, the ones that remained did quite well during COVID, right? But the goal in some respect of this is to make sure that the economy doesn't grow too fast or too slow, to make sure that inflation is not too low or too high, right? And so that these spikes don't happen. And so, businesses aren't caught unaware, consumers aren't caught unaware, and that everybody can kind of, do the way they expect to.
And then Mike says the economy may be doing well, but one place I don't feel it is in my 401k. It has been destroyed this year.
Yeah, the stock market's not had the best time of things. I think a lot of that is to do with the Federal Reserve raising rates, right? As they continue to raise rates, you can see it with mortgage prices, mortgage rates going up incredibly. And sort of in response to that, stocks have kind of fallen. And some of that was, maybe they were a bit inflated post-pandemic, but certainly hurting anyone who's sort of near retirement.
Yeah. And would you say if you're interested in buying a home, obviously rates were so low before COVID, and now with the interest rates being pushed back up, we're looking at the mortgage rates going up. Yet it's still nowhere near if there are people that remember trying to buy a home in the 1970s and the early 80s. It's nowhere near where we were.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to go back to the period we were 10 years ago where interest rates were basically zero, so that unfortunately is off the table, but I don't think we're headed to a 70s style, 15% mortgage rates. I think they'll probably stay at 7 or 8% for a little bit and then hopefully sort of ease down over the next 5 years or so. And
then another thing I hear a lot of is criticism, and this was, by the way, this started in the Bush administration, was completed in the Obama administration when the bottom fell out. And, we saved, over the last couple of decades, we've saved the banks, we've saved the auto industry, both criticized heavily for giving out really big bonuses and huge salaries. But what would have happened if we didn't save both of those industries?
Yeah, it's this sort of moral quandary, right? We needed to, I think, particularly the banking industry, sort of step in and save because, ultimately the person who would have suffered the most would have been average households as sort of banks collapsed. But there needs to be some sort of mechanism, right, to sort of prevent this behavior from happening again. Because the sort of banks and auto industry, they can take the risk and get bailed out. Why won't they continue to do so?
Yeah. And do you have an opinion on the bailout? We bailed out the banks, we bailed out the auto industry, and bailing out borrowers of student loans is very, very controversial and very political, very divided right down the line. What's your take on all of that?
Yeah, it's political, so I don't want to step too much into it, but certainly it seems like there are policies that at the very least could sort of ease repayment plans. I think it would be really helpful to the economy in the long run. If you think about a lot of these individuals with student debt, right, they're not consuming, they're not sort of thinking about the future in the way that they should be, rather than sort of just focusing on paying off the student debt.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Professor Cody Couture, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great weekend. Cody Couture is with Hamilton College. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of this has to do with who is the economy good for right now. And it doesn't feel like the middle-income American that it's all that good. It doesn't feel like Americans with 401ks or those dabbling in the stock market. It's all that good right now. Something to, however, compared to the rest of the world, they keep telling us it's good. Just doesn't feel that way. Got a break. 7:27. We'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. Assemblywoman Marion Button coming up in just a moment. Vince Scalise will talk about Jimmy Fallon and Heroes tickets, which, sponsored by River Hills Properties, is giving veterans a chance to go to see Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy at the Stanley Theater. Coming up on Veterans Day, November 11th.
You'll find no shortage of work to do in a New Holland Workmaster or Boomer compact tractor. Available now at Clinton Tractor. Get 0% financing for 84 months and a 7-year warranty on the select compact and subcompact tractors. Available now at Clinton Tractor. Stop into Clinton Tractor today or at clintontractor.net. Offer ends soon.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply and the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you have pain, back pain, neck pain, any type of pain, shoulder pain, you're dealing with lower back pain, and that pain is excruciating, you do not have to live with the pain. Dr. Hyder and the Omni Surgery Center. Call today at 315-765-8448. Less invasive, non-invasive procedures, including injections, and surgical procedures that are low-invasive procedures. It's where modern technology meets cutting-edge surgery. Their website has a great deal of information, and you'll see the facility. It's beautiful. Killpain.com is the website, which really says it all. Killpain.com. The Omni Surgery Center. Go to the website, killpain.com, and it's Dr. Hyder, who many people consider him a miracle worker. Obviously, that's subjective. I feel that way based on what he did for my dad. The Omni Surgery Center, killpain.com. Call 315-765-8448.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Assemblywoman Marion Button in studio right now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Good to see you, and we have lots to get into. Do you want to comment on, I wondered, we've been somewhat critical of the governor going off to Israel, and I just wondered about the benefits of, and the costs, all of that. What are the benefits of us going when you could go to New York City and show the support for the Jewish communities, largest Jewish community in New York State? I don't know if you have a comment on that, but then we also have learned that while she was there, she lost her dad unexpectedly.
Yes.
Which is very sad.
And I think we have many issues in the state of New York. I'm not sure what her rationale was.
Yeah.
But I clearly have to concur with you that remaining in the state and of most definitely my sincere sympathy to her and her family. Those are difficult challenges that one faces.
No doubt, and it was unexpected. She'd just spoken with him when she left for Israel, and it happened within the last, I believe, 12 hours or so. So very sad. Okay. Before she left for Vernon Downs, before she left for Israel, she dealt with Vernon Downs. This was an issue that everybody came together on, realizing it was important for upstate New York, but we needed it to be signed by the governor, and it seems to have been done.
Yes, it was 2019 that was the first time that we had to take a look at what needed to be done. And Jeff Gorell not only owns Vernon Downs, but Tioga Downs. To keep them as a package was the challenge as I worked with Gary Pretlow to write the legislation. I know that the most important aspect is, yes, the workers there, but the secondary effects that spill out into the community, whether it's someone purchasing gas or buying a meal. So it is a collective effort that needed to be looked at in that sense. I also appreciate Mr. Gorell's interest, as he has stated that once this legislation had moved forward, that he would be looking at further upgrades to the area. As you know, he explained to me in detail what he had done within the hotel, but if we look on the track side, there are concerns and many different aspects that need to be addressed.
What do you say to people who criticize, saying, listen, he should operate a business just like everybody else, and the state shouldn't be there to subsidize?
Well, I think, again, taking a look at it as a holistic perspective, not only just within the Vernon community, but how far it stretches into Utica and Rome and how many employees. The initial agreement, as we all know, was prior to COVID, and each one of us are facing those challenges, so he just said respect that.
Okay. All right.
And if I'm not mistaken, there were some credits that he was eligible for that helped the track financially, but you have to maintain a certain level of employment. You can't just take the state money or the benefits and then go, okay, we're laying off half the people. Well, COVID complicated that because you couldn't have people come to work anymore. So that's what created the situation.
So his right was you wouldn't allow us to have a full staff, and you're blaming us and you're penalizing us for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
okay.
the other thing is, and I think that's a valid point, I've heard that before, if you can't run your business on your own, why do you have to rely on taxpayers? But this is a specialized industry. It's not like a restaurant where if we close the shop, you know, another family comes in and just starts serving dinner again. Obviously, he's got to be competitive and edgy, but I think there's a real possibility that if Jeff Gorell doesn't run Vernon Downs doesn't run, right? It's not like there's another person just waiting to get in there to open up. And it is a specialty thing nowadays, the horse, but I don't know if you want to react to that. I'm rambling.
No, but Jeff, I think it's important to look at it, but we looked at all aspects of possibly who else or what could be done to make sure that it thrives. But back to your point was the credit aspect was identified because of a FTEs or the number of full-time employees. So if one can't do it, to Bill's point, then how do we hold them accountable? So I think the most important aspect is to say that this happened, but and I asked him, what's the plan for the future? Because 1923, we can't just keep making decisions like this. We have to have a clear plan of what is going to lead to the future.
I think there was a lot of belief for a lot of people that at some point the Oneida Nation might have an interest in taking over Vernon Downs. I don't. I mean, maybe it's more of an assumption than anything else. Obviously, no, and I don't think he's interested in selling at this point. But it will be interesting to see if they follow through on adding, improving, and obviously those jobs. That's a big deal. So
yes.
Okay. You have something further on that?
Yeah, I was gonna mention the ambulance situation.
Yeah.
So I believe you're in the midst of working on something that's become an issue, especially for rural ambulance companies, right? It has to do with reimbursements, and can you explain what the issue is and what you're bringing forward?
So clearly, the difficulty that we're seeing is right now you call an ambulance, your insurance company pays and sends the check directly to you, Jeff, and then you are to forward that check. Well, what we have heard is without this direct pay to the ambulance service, or the people are keeping the checks and they're not paying. Kovac made it very clear.
So the checks are going to the individuals, to the patient.
Yes.
And then it's not making its way to the...
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So
it's
they-
actually making its way to Vernon Downs. So, it's keeping the economy going, but not the ambulance service.
But I think that the most important aspect is that when we look at the healthcare system, that doesn't work that way. It
right.
works in the field of dental in many senses, and they struggle. But
Which is why dentists almost always require payment up front.
Yes.
Because of this but an ambulance is not going to be able to for obvious reasons.
Before we
right?
take you, we need $3,200 right now.
We'll get all your credit card information as we're loading them into the ambulance. It can't be done.
And on the insurance company sides, they've reached out to me and stated, well, we can't be reimbursed appropriately. We have to have a conversation. Well, every ambulance provider that was there at the press conference said we're more than happy to sit down and determine how to settle a contract, which happens every day in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it just makes sense. So the idea would be is that the reimbursement would go directly to the ambulance service.
Yes.
Okay. Makes sense, right?
But as I stated, Kovac said they had over $100,000 with one individual. So this becomes, especially right now during Christmas. So this is just a means of providing for themselves.
So we're talking about not just emergency transport, but routine transport.
Well, I guess the word emergency is deemed subjective.
Right.
So someone
But if somebody's
calls,
totaled up bills of $100,000, wow, they aren't all emergencies.
And
well, maybe
clearly,
they,
but clearly what they've stated is it's a means of funding one individual, you know, and I'm sure that if you wanted to talk to any of the ambulance providers, some of them that are dealing directly with Medicaid or Medicare don't have this issue as significant, but the ones that are dealing with private insurance are faced with this challenge.
I wanted to clear this. So you're saying that there is, in one case, one example being used, there is an individual who racked up a bill of $100,000, was reimbursed with that $100,000, but it never made it to the ambulance service.
Exactly. That's what they told me.
Wow.
Yes, that's what they told me. So
that's a pretty big story right there. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Last one. Well, I think you're launching, was it yesterday or today, the Hat and Mitten Drive?
Yes.
This we're not going to allow you to do because it means that the warmer weather is over and all right, we have to
Well, we're going to do it for about a month and a half.
Okay, we have to face the inevitable.
I just have one other. On Tuesday, we're doing a nonprofit seminar. I'm always excited when I can secure funding for municipalities and nonprofits in the community. But what happens to be the bottleneck is them being able to complete the accounting procedure for that funding. So this Grants Gateway will be here, a member of the state agency that will identify how to help each one of these nonprofits. Many of them are working boards. It's not that they're just too busy working that this paperwork becomes
There's so
cumbersome.
much, which is why Real Men Get Tested, Tim Reed and myself, we use the Community Foundation because they handle all of that. You don't have to hold a 501c3 license or certificate or what have you. But if you have that, if you're a certified 501c3, there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of stuff that has to be done with that.
And that's an excellent point. We're partnering with the Community Foundation of Oneida and Herkimer County for that purpose, is what you said, is they somewhat are a filter that works very well for many nonprofits.
They do all the work and handle the fund and keep it legal and exactly the way it's supposed to be run. So we appreciate what they do. And this also happens when? Next week.
This is Tuesday morning.
Okay.
And again, I thank all those fire departments and so many others that do great work. They're just not accountants. They're workers.
Fair enough. And then, yes, the cold weather is coming. Actually, by the end of the weekend, we might be looking, by Monday morning, maybe looking at a frost. Hat and Mitten Drive, what do you have?
So partnering with the Comets and this is something in Utica City football. Every year we've been doing this, and our recipients are the Neighborhood Center as well as Mohawk Valley Community Action. I do have to do a little plug. I have an angel in Whitesboro that's already made close to 100 pairs of mittens for us. She never wants to be acknowledged. They are the most beautiful mittens, and to hear that a child will be wearing them to...
I think I know who this is,
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really sweet that she does this. Makes them by hand.
Yes,
Wow,
and they are
awesome.
beautiful.
And then how do people contribute here?
So at any Comets or UFC game,
Okay,
or they could
Utica City
drop
FC,
this,
yep.
stop at the state office building.
Okay.
There's buckets in the front or the back entrance.
And finally, the ribbon cutting the other day, pretty amazing at the hospital.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting to move forward and take a look at what the future brings. And there's a lot of great in this area.
Any truth that someone spotted you on a stepladder pulling down the No Hospital Downtown sign? Any truth to that?
Well, you were holding the ladder.
I was. All right. You gave it up. All right, Marianne, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Assemblywoman Marion Button. Sean, quick break, and we're going to keep this moving because I got a lot happening. Coming up, Vince Scalise coming in studio. Let's do Habaika's free money question of the day. What is the jackpot this morning for our free money question? We go to Siri on this one.
$200 of Joe Habaika's money. Yo. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, $200 on the line here this morning. Devin, you ready? You're looking for caller number what?
Let's go caller number 7.
Yo. Thank you, Joe. $200. Caller number 7 right now. 315-736-0186.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know about planning for nursing home care. The best way, of course, is to plan ahead. The key is to make sure that you make decisions far ahead of the time that you need a nursing home. Getting the basic pieces in place, including power of attorney, healthcare proxy, will, trust, all those things, and working closely with your family to make sure you're organized and ready to go in case the worst happens. You should also know there are strategies you can employ, even if you currently have a loved one in a nursing home. When there's a crisis and someone's entered a nursing home, there are things we can do to act very quickly to protect some of the assets. It really does require that an elder law attorney be involved because the techniques that are used are very technical in nature. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their knowledgeable staff, who know that every vehicle is different. And right now, it's the pre-season tire sale at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Buy any 4 installed Nokian snow or all-weather tires and $100 instant rebate. Get the tires you and your vehicle deserve at the best prices guaranteed. From Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
The Hoffman Car Wash Food Drive is back. When you donate a non-perishable food item at any exterior or full-service Hoffman Car Wash location on Saturday, October 21st and Sunday, October 22nd, you'll receive a free Ultimate Car Wash. All items collected will be donated to local food pantries. That's a free Ultimate Car Wash with a food donation on Saturday, October 21st and Sunday, October 22nd. For more information, go to hoffmancarwash.com.
Hey, if you need flooring, it's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading store when it comes to flooring. Pergo Extreme by Mohawk. There's a price guarantee. It's a 60-mile radius of the store. And this is just an amazing product. I'll tell you. Long before we were working with Sarah's, we may have gotten flooring from another place. And I have to say, that floating floor lasted for us, and it was not Pergo Extreme, it lasted only about 3 years before it started to split and bow and come apart. You want a great product. If you're putting that on your flooring, it's something you want to see last for a long time. And Sarah's has you covered. Sal offers that 60-mile price radius guarantee. It's a 60-mile radius of the store. Deeper protection, a deeper warranty, 100% dent-proof, waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof. It's Extreme Pergo, Extreme by Mohawk, and it's available at the best price at Insera's Flooring Outlet, where you can get 6 months interest-free financing. Insera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and online, InserasFlooringOutlet.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, let's do for $200 here this morning on the line from the Hobico Law Firm. Let's do a chance for you to win $200. And Hilda's on the line in Rome. Hello, Hilda. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How you doing? You ready to go here?
Well, I think so. I hope I'm going to be ready.
Well, listen, this is for $200, and you're going to have 7 seconds to answer. And this is Hilda in Rome. Here we go. Here is your question. That tiny pocket on your blue jeans was designed for what? Ready, go. That tiny pocket on the blue jeans, what is that designed for?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say for my keys.
You said for what?
My keys?
That's a
she's
great
saying
answer.
Keys.
Oh, your keys.
I thought you said your teeth.
That's so funny. That's funny. Well, the key for your key, Hilda, is a wonderful answer. But I kind of thought you might have pulled this one out this morning. It is.
It's not change, is it?
It's pocket watch.
Pocket watch. Yes,
I knew it. It was designed originally, Hilda, for the pocket watch, which nobody really carries anymore today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So how you doing, Hilda? Things are good?
Well, I thought I was going to win. But
I know.
Well, at least I got through.
At least you got through. We got to chat, and we are going to give you a gift card. It's the Utica All-in-One gift card, which will give you $25 at an area restaurant or the Adirondack Bank Center or the Nexus. But and we'll mail that right to your door. Okay, Hilda?
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
Thanks
Listen,
very much.
Thanks for playing.
Enjoy the weekend and stand by because Devin's going to get all your information. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Devin, she's all yours. That's Hilda. I thought that's what she said too, and it was keys.
Yes.
Keys, Vince. I didn't want to. I just could not help. I burst out. I shouldn't have.
So the question, it's funny because it was one of those things where it's like
that little pocket
floating
it's
around
been there
in
for
my
what?
head. Yeah, and it's something that I knew it was something old school because I remember in discussing this before, so many modern current pants and jeans have these, but nobody uses it for that purpose. I remember it existed still, but whatever the purpose was, wasn't often used. And I'm like, it's not change, it's not keys. What? It's the pocket watch. Yep.
It's the pocket watch. That's what it was designed for. Yeah, amazing. In studio right now is Vince Scalise. Vince, good morning.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good. And so, I don't know, your ears have been ringing a little bit, but we worked with River Hills Properties and the Stanley Theater box office, and now with the Utica Center for Development. And the idea is, and we had, so Jimmy Falla does afternoons here and around the country every day from noon, and he's officially for us the replacement, the Rush Limbaugh replacement. Mm-hmm. He's also a stand-up comic who is unbelievably funny. He's been here a couple of times with the Fat Cats Comedy Club, but now he's reached a point where he's big enough to go into the Stanley Theater, along with Kennedy, who was on Fox Business and, of course, formerly with MTV. That show is coming up on Veterans Day, November 11th. We had somebody go to the box office a week ago and purchase $1,000 in tickets that'll go towards veterans. So.
That's wonderful, and I know our veterans will greatly appreciate it, especially the vets that we work with and help. You know, and the ones that we have living in our units. This is we do everything we can to get them out.
Yep.
You know, and get them engaged in activities, which is great for their well-being, both their physical and mental well-being. So this is great, and I appreciate everybody involved and you guys in River Hill Properties. I mean, you know, that's we're only able to do what we do because of the community.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for you guys and the community that supports us, we wouldn't be able to help the amount of people we do. So,
and I realize we're not. This is not giving food. This is not giving clothing or housing or anything like that. It's giving tickets to a comedy show. But there is something about being able to get out and be a part of normal life, and on Veterans Day, going out to laugh a little bit.
And like they always said, laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and like you said, there's many elements that are needed to have a proper recovery, a proper, path to a healthy lifestyle. And getting out, being social, is very important.
Yeah.
And not just for veterans, but for anybody. Nobody, being a shut-in is not healthy.
Yeah.
So, and the individuals that we deal with normally would not be able to afford tickets to a comedy show like this at the Stanley. So having them donate it, letting them engage, letting them go there, enjoy themselves is unbelievable. You can't measure the amount of therapeutic value to something like that.
And the fact that it's on, there'll be a little salute to those veterans because the show falls on Veterans Day. And Jimmy Fallon is really excited about it, and we thank the people at River Hills, Bill and Robin Monjo, and you guys. So we'll let you know the number of tickets, and it'll be up to you to. How many people would you say you would be able to provide for?
Oh, we're probably just with the ones that live with us. We have over 30 individuals that live with us. So, and then we have our peer-to-peer programs that bring in other people. So, 50 people is not a large number for us.
And what do you need? What do you guys need for the holidays coming up?
Well, with the holidays coming up, thanks for mentioning that. We really haven't done anything to announce it, and we probably should have. But how we do our care packages for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we're always looking for those canned staples for the holidays. Then turkeys and hams frozen, so we could distribute. Last year we distributed to over 650 individuals,
Wow.
for both holidays. So, and like I said, we were only able to do it through the donations that we get. So if people, I know it's hard, the economy and everything, but whatever you could give, goes a long way.
Yeah. All right. We appreciate it. What number can they call, or where do they go if they want to give? It's now, by the way, Utica Center for Development.
Right. And you can always go to our website, which is ucdevelopment.org.
Okay.
And the main desk number is 315-765-0975. And you can call that any time during the week.
All right, Vince, thank you for what you do.
If you have non-perishable to drop off for the holidays, just take it to the center.
Take it to the center.
Just walk it right in.
And if it's after hours, we do have a donation bin in front that gets checked daily. So if you wanted to throw it in that big orange bin, the guys that get it in the morning.
Oh, thank you.
And we say this all the time, but I think you know this to be true. We do a great job of recruiting and getting young men and women to go into the service. And then we do a great job of shipping our men and women all around the world. We do not do such a great job when we bring them home.
Absolutely not. And that's why that was the whole catalyst for me starting this agency. It was just to help my fellow veterans. And we've been lucky enough for it to grow as large as it has. And, we service 12 counties in New York right now. So.
Wow. Great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be in touch, too, with the number that we have, and it'll be a good number for you guys.
We appreciate that.
All right. Jimmy Fallon coming to the Stanley Theater, the Laughs and Liberty Tour on Veterans Day, along with Kennedy. You can go to the Ticketmaster.com for details and pick up your tickets. Or if you wanted to purchase Heroes tickets for a veteran, 315-724-4000. That's the box office number at the Stanley Theater. Can I keep rolling here?
Yes, go ahead.
Steve Raffaero is the Utica GOP Vice Chair. The Republican vice chair, and is on the line right now. Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
So,
Morning, Jeff. How are you?
we always talk with you almost exclusively about the
E.J. Herman,
the big cross country event that is every year. Now that is past.
It went very, very well, very well,
as it does every year. But you're very involved in local politics, and what do we have this morning? Manaski's teasing as if there might be a bit of a controversy. I cannot imagine.
Well, he's raising a question, and we chatted about it briefly, and I said, all right, if you'd like to raise this issue, we'd love to. There's a question about what one of the candidates for mayor in the city of Utica is saying, or at least how it's the telephone game, by the time it gets to the next person, what is being perceived, and this has to do with an endorsement. Some believe it's from the Utica Teachers Association, but my understanding is that's not so. What's your understanding, Steve?
So my question is this. It's more of a clarification than actually saying something might be told inappropriately. But talking to the local teachers, the Utica Teachers Association didn't endorse anyone. And candidate Celeste Friend has been out stating that she's been endorsed by the teachers. Now, that might be at a state level, but might not be at the local level. And it's a little bit confusing because obviously the state association is going to have a different perspective than the local union association. So I just wanted some clarification, because when you say you're endorsed by the teachers and it's not local, it has a different perspective than if you're endorsed by the state association. So I was just looking for clarification, because I've heard her say it at a few different events during debates or during discussions.
So are you saying that you talked to the teachers union in Utica, or you talked to some teachers?
I spoke to some teachers involved in the teachers union who said they haven't endorsed anybody for mayor.
The teachers union has not endorsed anybody.
Correct.
Okay.
The Utica Teachers Association has not endorsed anybody for mayor.
Fair enough.
And if it's a state association, that's fine.
Yep.
That carries merit and that carries credit. However, it's a different perspective from a local view than a state view.
Yeah.
Your policies might be different. Your views might be different. So, by saying the Teachers Association has backed me, there's many teachers in the city. There's many voters who are involved with teachers in the city. I just think, it might be a little skewed one way or the other.
And Steve, are you saying that as it makes its way through the community, what that message is, that it's becoming that the UTA endorsed? By making the open blanket statement that teachers endorsed me, it could be confused or be considered that the UTA has endorsed her, and they haven't endorsed anybody.
All right, we will we'll have her on. I'm assuming next week, and we'll bring that up. Definitely bring it up. Steve Raffaello, as always, we appreciate it. Good grab there. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Right.
Have a good weekend.
Obviously, I'm assuming, being the vice chair, he's supporting Mike Galimi, the Republican candidate.
Yes, and this is something, when I talked to Steve yesterday, I said, we kind of talked to Celeste about this on the air, and I don't remember the verbatim explanation, but I remember her saying the state representative who's on I don't remember the full details, but we had talked about this issue before.
We talked about the fact that a lot of times a union will make an endorsement, but the members of the union don't always agree with that endorsement. This might be a little bit of a different situation, that the local union has not made an endorsement, but the state union has. So we'll get into it. Clarified coming up. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
Israel does not plan to control life in Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Israel's defense minister just said after suggesting a ground invasion's imminent, telling soldiers amassed at the border,
"Get organized. Be ready. The order will come."
There we are. Just battling Hamas in Gaza, though. Fox's Trey Yingst in Israel reports.
A short while ago, 3 Hezbollah terrorists were identified in the area of the border with Lebanon. IDF aircraft struck the terrorist. Additionally, we are learning from the military that Israeli snipers took out gunmen that were along the border with Lebanon.
Now, President Biden's urging Congress to provide more military aid.
It's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations.
But it's not just weapons for Israel. He also wants more aid for Ukraine to battle Russia.
We cannot and will not let terrorists like Hamas and tyrants like Putin win. I refuse to let that happen.
Some Republicans say we've given Ukraine enough. Jim Jordan is still trying to be House Speaker. There could be a third vote today. His fellow Republicans who don't support him have been threatened or yelled at. Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, who does support Jordan, tells Fox Business it's unfortunate.
Belligerent constituents kind of calling in, just completely upset, first and foremost because we don't have a speaker, but then secondly because they want their member of Congress to support a specific candidate.
The U.S. soldier North Korea sent back last month is in trouble here.
Private Travis King is charged in military court with 8 counts, including desertion. In July, he was released from a South Korean jail where he'd been booked on assault charges when he was taken by U.S. military personnel to an airport. Instead of boarding a plane, he ran across the border into North Korea. King also faces child porn charges, accused of soliciting a minor on Snapchat to post sexual images.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. They're searching for a killer in Hagerstown, Maryland, after a circuit court judge was shot in the driveway of his home. Andrew Wilkinson died at a hospital. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Pure Talk, America's wireless company, is on a mission to alleviate $10 million in military debt by Veterans Day, but they're going to need your help. Now, Pure Talk will donate a percentage of every new order to this great cause. When you make the switch, they make it simple, fast, and easy to their super fast 5G network. Talk, text, plenty of data now, only at $20 a month. Do it right now. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword save now. Make the switch to Pure Talk, and you can help a military member in need.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 56 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The retrial of a murder case involving a retired New York City firefighter who was shot by a neighbor in the Adirondacks ended suddenly in a mistrial on Thursday. Stephen Swanton of Rochester, New York, was found guilty of second-degree murder, 2 counts of assault, and criminal use of a firearm for the September 2020 incident. However, his conviction on those charges was overturned earlier this year. It was alleged that Swanton had been in a dispute with a neighbor earlier in the day when Scott Krempler and William Robertello went to Swanton's camp to speak with him. A physical dispute allegedly ensued. Both of those men were shot. Krempler died of his injuries. Robertello survived and testified in the first trial. As I mentioned, the state Supreme Court Appellate Division unanimously reversed the guilty verdict. Jury selection was underway this week in Herkimer County Court for a new trial, but there was a mistrial declared during jury selection yesterday. A new trial has now been set for mid-January. Police in Yorkville say they seized untaxed cigarettes, marijuana, edibles, easy for me to say, vapes, and other prohibited material from the Yorkville Cigar Shop and Discount Beverage Center on Oriskany Boulevard. Cops had obtained a search warrant from the DA's office as well as the Office of Cannabis Management after uncovering a large quantity of illegal merchandise. The shop's owner and an employee were arrested. The store was previously raided back in April. After several months of work, the Adirondack Railroad is ready to resume service to Tupper Lake. Miles of lines had been rendered inoperable because of repeated washouts and storm damage in August. Several lines were shut down for immediate repair. The Adirondack Railroad announced service to Tupper Lake is about to be restored, with service connecting to the Utica and Old Forge areas next week. The company previously reopened passenger service between Utica and Old Forge back in mid-August. And sad news today, Governor Kathy Hochul has returned to the state of New York after spending some time this week in Israel. She says it was part of a solidarity trip to show support for Israel. It was learned, though, during her trip that Governor Kathy Hochul's 87-year-old father passed away in the middle of her solidarity visit. John Courtney, who was living in the state of Florida, died of a sudden brain hemorrhage on Wednesday night. Hochul did find out about the death as she was visiting the Western Wall in the Old City of Jerusalem. WIBX News Time is 8:06. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News. Looking at some rain showers here and cooler weather, especially late this weekend. Slight chance of showers this afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy. A high reaching 65. Overnight tonight, cloudy skies, rain showers, a low of 53. More rain Saturday, a high of 57. Rain likely on Sunday as well, with a high of 47. Sunshine returns, though, Monday with a high of 52. Right now, mostly cloudy, 56 at 8:06. All right, in sports, the NFL Week 7 kicked off last night on WIBX. The Jacksonville Jaguars picking up a victory. They moved to 5-2 with a 31-24 win on the road in the Big Easy. The Saints take the defeat. New Orleans had beat Jacksonville in their previous 4 face-to-face meetings. Coming up this weekend, the Buffalo Bills are at New England, and the New York Giants host Washington. The Jets are on a bye. Major League Baseball postseason last night. The Astros level up 2-2 in the series with Texas. 10-3 was your final in Game 4. Jose Abreu and Yordan Alvarez each had 3 RBI for the Stros. In Phoenix, the Diamondbacks get on the board as they won via a walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th. 2-1 the final. It was Ketel Marte with the game-winning RBI. That series now is 2-1 in favor of Philadelphia, and both the ALCS and NLCS resume later today. An 8-person ballot released for the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee Class of 2024. Former managers Jimmy Leland, Lou Piniella, Cito Gaston, and Davey Johnson headlined the ballot for the Contemporary Era. Others include former umpires Joe West and Ed Montague, former National League President Bill White, and ex-GM Hank Peters are also on the list. All of those candidates, by the way, are still living, except for Peters. If they get 75% of the ballot, they will be inducted into Cooperstown on July 21st of 2024. Syracuse football is off this weekend. They'll actually play next Thursday night at Virginia Tech. Utica Pioneers hockey. The men will host the 18U USA national team at the Adirondack Bank Center tonight. It is an exhibition, but a lot of great talent on display. A 7 p.m. start. Utica Pioneer football, they will play at Alfred coming up tomorrow. They have 3 games left, and I'm double-checking here because I've lost my schedule. Nope, there it is. The Utica Comets coming up this weekend. They are at the Bridgeport Sound Tigers tomorrow night at 7 o'clock start. Utica's next home game is next Saturday, the 28th, against Rochester.
Okay, and let's give away a pair. Devin, I'm going to give away a pair of, we're going to give away a 5-pack of tickets for tonight's game, Utica Pioneers, and the Team USA under 18. I don't know, make it the third caller. You want to do that?
I can do that.
Caller number 3. Caller number 3 through the lines. You get a 5-pack of tickets for tonight's game. And their name will be at will call, Devin, just so you know. And you call right now.
What do we need? Email? We have to get their email?
Caller number 1.
Yeah, just name and email would be nice.
Okay.
Third caller through the lines right now. Pioneers tickets for tonight. Adirondack Bank Center with WIBX.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend Sarah's Flooring Outlet. the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Inceras. Log on to their website at incerasflooringoutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Inceras Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, incerasflooringoutlet.com, and see for yourself or visit their store. Inceras Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
Hi, it's Joe Carbone from Power Sports of Utica. It's our end of the model year blowout sale. With over 450 units for sale. Save up to $3,500 on side-by-sides, $3,000 on snowmobiles, $3,000 on watercraft, up to $2,000 on 4x4s, financing as low as 1.99, save thousands on all used inventory. Save up to 70% on general merchandise. October 16th through the 28th.
This holiday season, bring extra comfort and timeless style into your home with Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Gallery Sale going on now. Experience the magic of the holidays surrounded by the finest craftsmanship and exquisite design. From over 40 breathtaking dining sets to handcrafted sofas, their furniture sets the stage for unforgettable holiday celebrations with your loved ones. Stop in today to Adirondack Home Furniture and enjoy a relaxing, low-pressure shopping experience. They pride themselves on their unmatched customer service and attention to detail. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality, USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Create your dream home for the holidays and beyond with Adirondack Home Furniture. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and home office, you'll find everything on your holiday list at Adirondack Home Furniture. Visit them at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica, or browse their inventory online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Adirondack Home Furniture, helping you get your home ready for the holidays.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
More and more people are turning to Wheelock Disposal for their trash pickup and recyclables. Let's hear from their happy customers why they love Wheelock Disposal service. Here's Mike in Whitesboro.
So why am I a customer of Wheelock Disposal? We've been a customer for approximately 12 years. They pick up our garbage on time. The cans are always put back up right. Any garbage that has fallen out, they pick up. I drive for a living, so I'm in a lot of different neighborhoods, and I see their trucks doing the same thing. Their drivers are professional drivers and do a great job, and that's why we love Wheelock Disposal.
And now, let's hear from Dick in New Hartford.
Hi, I'm Dick Timpano. Why do I love Wheelock Disposal? Because it's easy to bring my garbage to the curb. Their friendliness, their cleanliness, and the responsibility they have to pick up my trash on time is incredible. That's why I love Wheelock Disposal.
Wheelock Disposal Service has a special introductory offer for all new customers. Check out wheelockdisposal.com. We love garbage.
Hey, I have to tell you, if you're looking for a new family doctor, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. Dr. Shimoleski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Kosminski, physicians all under one roof, and whatever it is that ails you. I have a friend recently with severe back pain, a former football player, decided to go to the Falcon Clinic, and it was a very successful trip for him, a thorough examination and thorough treatment. It's a process, and certainly it's different with every single patient. But if you want someone who's really going to dig deep thoroughly to look into what it is that ails you, it's the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. And if you're in need of a new family physician, call today. They're taking patients right now. Call 315-507-4751. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
We'll also tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck Sedella is ready to take care of you this morning. If it's a box of coffee or donuts or the pumpkin lattes, the drive-thru, you're in and out and you're on your way. And those amazing snowflake rolls for the holiday dinner, they have you covered. You have to sign up, however. You have to get on the list. There's that much demand. Call 724-7103 or visit Daylight Donuts. Snowflake rolls for Thanksgiving and for your holiday dinner at Christmas time. I'm done now.
No.
Oh, I'm not done. I'm still going to stay, but I'm complete. So I just figured with the chamber here, we're pro-business.
Yeah, promoting all the local businesses.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In studio right now, Carrie Pulio and Jen Kita. And Carrie, I'll have you do the introduction here.
Yeah, so on Wednesday night, we were able to honor our 2023 Business Person of the Year, and to no one's surprise, this year's winner was an extraordinary woman, Jennifer Kita. And as we kind of went through and looked at the past recipients, it wasn't because Jennifer was a woman that she was chosen, but we did realize that for the first time in 20 years, we had chosen a woman. And it was really because of Jen's accomplishments. She's an astute businesswoman who has grown her business tremendously, not only locally, but into new markets. She is an advocate for the chamber, and she is a community supporter in her leadership roles at the American Heart Association. For it's all those reasons combined, Jennifer was chosen by our executive committee as this year's Business Woman of the Year, and we had an incredibly phenomenal turnout. And Jennifer gave a really exciting and emotional, heartfelt speech, not only about what it is to be a leader, but in business, but as a woman leader in business. I think the crowd really needed to hear that message.
So, Jen, congratulations.
Thank you.
If you could pull that mic a little bit nice and close, not so close that you catch anything, but close. We're talking about today when somebody comes in and they're coughing and whatever, and the first thing they say is, "Don't worry, it's not COVID." Okay, I still don't. Whatever's going on there, I don't want it.
I don't have anything.
You have nothing. You're good.
I'm good.
Those who can't see, she just has the award. There's no
just
cold,
the award.
no flu, no COVID, just an award.
Just walking around town with it.
So congratulations. And it's funny because I remember when Jackie Izzo became mayor of Rome, first woman to be mayor of Rome. She said, "I don't want to make a big deal out of the fact that I'm the first woman." But it is a big deal, right?
It is a big deal, yeah. And I think a lot of times I don't recognize how significant it is because I do surround myself by tremendous businesswomen in this area. Yeah. So I feel like they're abundant and it's not an anomaly. But when you step back, it actually really is an anomaly.
Yeah. I want to hear, do you mind telling a few stories? Because your speech the other night has sent shockwaves around the area. People are talking about it.
Really?
So.
That's great to hear.
So there's a Little League story I want to hear.
I know. So it was the first time I really recognized that the world did not see me the same as my friends. And I wanted to try out for Little League. I had been in minor league with all my friends and somehow was able to get into the tryout, the only girl at the tryout, but I didn't, again, even recognize that was an issue.
Yeah.
I think I did pretty well enough that when I came back the second day, I was asked to leave because they were concerned that I was playing well enough that I would take the position and a spot from one of the boys on the team. And so we left. And so one of the things that I always tell my friends and my employees and my colleagues is not only do you need to show up, but you need to stand up and speak up. And I don't think if anybody spoke up for me at that moment, it would have changed things.
Yeah.
But it would have for me, Yeah. So I think that was kind of the moral of that story is we've got to recognize when it happens and not just move on.
I remember I wrestled in high school, and I wasn't very good. I have to preface that for every kid I went to high school with. It says, I can't believe he's bragging about he wrestled. He was terrible. So just to qualify it. But I do remember when it was just the time where girls were starting to wrestle, and I remember sitting with a great referee, and I won't mention his name, but he said, the reason we can't allow girls in is because how would a boy feel if he lost to a girl? Can you imagine? That's our mentality.
It was.
And he was not alone, and I don't fault him for that, but that's the way it was.
Right. And I think through my whole career, I reckon these things were happening, and I would dismiss them in order to continue moving forward. And, I think that's what I was trying to share with the group was it's time to not just accept it. And also you can recognize it, but you have to actually say something about it. And it doesn't have to be aggressive and mean. It just needs to be acknowledged.
Are you, I would ask you, because I've heard this from other women, and I'm the father of a daughter who, and I do think it is different. It is absolutely different. She's tough. We taught her to be very tough and fight for what she believes in. But I think sometimes when you fight as a female, you are judged much differently.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was funny.
In fact, there's a word that they usually use.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's been a name I've been called often. But even from the very beginning, Dan Jones, a very good friend of mine I've known forever, he spoke during the video.
Yeah.
And said, I can remember, when Jen was a kid and still was bossing us all around and telling us where to go and what to do. But if a boy had done that, I don't think anybody would even reference that. It does, and it still happens.
Yeah.
It still absolutely happens, and that's what my point was, is that we are in a very different world. I don't know if you heard, too, I played soccer in college, so, in 1980, there were no women playing soccer in college. And when I went to school in the early 90s, college, there were about 7,500. And nowadays, there's 45,000.
Wow.
So, so there is progression.
Yeah.
So I think oftentimes people think, well, we're good now. We've made it, and that's not the case at all.
Although I will say that with soccer, it draws the women's soccer team draws far greater than the men's soccer team, which is very interesting and quite a switch.
Oh yeah.
Still, the pay was an issue, and I think that's being resolved.
And I think that's also something I didn't even touch upon the other night. So
Manaski.
So I thought it was it's certainly noteworthy. That you're a woman, not a man, but I thought it was important also that you said she didn't win the award because she's a woman in business. It's because she's a great business leader who happens to be a woman.
Right. If you had just, if everything had been written on paper without a name and just looking at the qualities and the things that Jen done, she outshined the other candidates that were the names that were put forward. But it just so happened when you put the name, she was a woman, next to all of her accomplishments. And so it's kind of recognizing that, and celebrating that women can be strong business leaders and contribute to their community, but also can do all the other things that a woman does and juggle a family. And, Jen's very proud of raising 2 strong daughters and being a mother and, looking at those inherent differences and bringing those different qualities to the table in business. Sometimes women look at things through different lenses. And those are all things that, it's great that a man, sometimes maybe has a more analytical mind, but a woman may have a more practical mind, and bringing all those things together and bringing those, everybody to the board table is important.
As an example of the success, and we're not trying to dive into your books, but trying to grow the company from what to a few million to 10 million to it's basically if it was around 3 million, it's almost 30 now.
Almost,
that's
it's 10 times.
tenfold.
Yeah.
Well, when you announced those goals, what was the reaction?
Well, it's funny because in 2013. I came back from a program I did in New York City, Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses, and I just announced we're going to be a $10 million company, and of which we had never even come close, and had been kind of running parallel for a long time. Most of the time I got a laugh, but I did have a couple of people that said, "Okay, how are we going to do it?" One in particular is Jason Porter, who's been with the company for a very long time, and he literally rolled his sleeves up. Okay, what do we need to do?
Yeah.
And now he's a vice president for us, too,
wow.
So believing in us. But I will say, I think to Carrie's point, I think what actually created the success that Standards had is my business partner, Rich Waite, and how he has openly accepted, the characteristics that I bring to the table. Instead of squashing them, he has elevated me. He has helped me be in the forefront. He's been with the company longer. And and I know for a fact that that partnership wasn't there,
Yeah.
and he didn't give me that space, that this wouldn't have happened, especially in this industry. So, it wouldn't have happened on my own by any means. So,
speaking with Carrie Pulio with the Chamber and Jen Kita, Standard, and you've expanded that business, which is officially now Standard.
The length is now tenfold what it used to be. It's 10 times longer now.
Remember what it was like when you call the auto dealerships and they had just merged, and the person at the front desk the name was so long you couldn't.
Yes.
So I've heard you talk a little bit about, and we'll wrap with this, about the world of dealing with employees today, and it has changed, and the world has changed tremendously. I think we probably went on hyperspeed during COVID, but talk about that a little bit and how your practices have had to adjust with that.
Sure. Well, I think that you're exactly right. COVID just kind of catapulted us to some things we were preparing to do anyways. But being, a lot of people talk about being employee-centric and those types of things. But again, standing up, speaking up, and actually doing things.
Right.
So we increased our hourly rate significantly at the time. It was well above all the competitors. The benefits that we give are, exceptional, and they're unique. I started a vacation reimbursement program a couple of years back where every employee each year gets a $2,000 net reimbursement, and it's not a bonus. They actually have to go on vacation, and it's whatever they determine. So it could be a fishing trip, it could be a cruise, it could be camping all week, and so we work with every employee to do that. And in some cases, we have to help them because some people had never been on vacation until this was available. And what's really nice is it's
quality of life. We're talking about.
and it sparked other companies to do the same thing. So when that happens, I feel like it's even more powerful when it's not just hitting my company, but it's hitting other companies too.
And it's become more competitive to get and keep employees today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing is investing in them and showing them how much investing in themselves is important, which is why I do it. So I'm getting my MBA right now and, doing leadership training. And then when I encourage them to do it, they know they have a safe place to do the same thing and invest in themselves.
Jen Kita, congratulations.
Thank you.
Standard heating, cooling, and insulating. There we
Correct.
go.
Yeah.
I got it all.
You did get it all in there.
You
Very
did.
nice. By the way, I have one comment, and I don't think this is too sexist, from Michael. Based on what you're talking about, yes, there's a name for women who are overly bossy. It's called my wife. So, Mike, I'm with you on that one. So there you go. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
I shouldn't say that. Ladies, thank you so much. I guess. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? 8:29. We'll break, and coming up, the world has changed after COVID when it comes to entertainment. How much are you streaming at home? Willie Waffle has been doing reviews for us for over 15 years. Now, all of a sudden, he leads with streaming. And then, by the way, there might be a couple of movies in theaters. This weekend, there's a big one in theaters. We'll speak with Willie on that. Coming up at WIBX.
I'm Anthony Pacenti. As county executive, I tackled tough issues. I acted to make our schools safer for our children. I immediately stopped the immoral attempt to bus illegal migrants into Oneida County. I continue to work every day to combat the scourge of the opiate epidemic in our community. I will continue to tackle tough issues head on, and I won't let bad decisions in Albany stop us. And I ask for your vote on November 7th.
Leadership and a vision for the future is how Oneida County is moving forward. Oneida County Executive Tony Pacenti.
We've made significant investments in healthcare and public safety, created new opportunities in tourism and youth sports, and invested big in high-tech, state-of-the-art research, resulting in high-quality jobs right here at home.
Oneida County is working, growing, and moving forward. On November 7th, let's keep it that way. Re-elect Tony Pacenti, Oneida County Executive.
Paid for by Friends of Tony Pacenti.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their staff who know that every vehicle is different. And right now, it's the pre-season tire sale at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Buy any 4 installed Nokian Snow or all-weather tires and get a $100 instant rebate. Get the tires you and your vehicle deserve at the best prices guaranteed. From Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
The Hoffman Car Wash Food Drive is back. When you donate a non-perishable food item at any exterior or full-service Hoffman Car Wash location on Saturday, October 21st and Sunday, October 22nd, you'll receive a free Ultimate Car Wash. All items collected will be donated to local food pantries. That's a free Ultimate Car Wash with a food donation on Saturday, October 21st and Sunday, October 22nd. For more information, go to hoffmancarwash.com.
At SimpliSafe, we've designed award-winning home security with advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 lifeguard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Hey, if it's concrete, it's Brink Construction. Call today. There's still time to get your concrete poured and all of that work done before it gets way too cold. Who knows? Maybe it won't even get that cold this winter. Those predictions we hear say for a warmer winter. We'll see. Anyway, concrete, driveways and sidewalks, old stone walls, old block walls, chimneys, or a new sidewalk. Call Brink Construction. If it's masonry and concrete work, David and Rocco Brink have you covered. 315-894-3481, located on Litchfield Street in Frankfort, but servicing all of upstate New York. Concrete work, masonry work, Brink Construction, 315-894-3481.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
8:33 on Friday morning. And it was, I don't know what it feels like for you now, but coming out this morning, it felt a little bit mild. It is going to cool off as the weekend goes on.
Quite a bit, yeah.
High on Sunday only, what? Well, I don't think we're going to get out of the 40s on Sunday. So be ready for maybe a little frost action. Manaski with some comments here this morning. We got a ton of them.
Yeah, I'm looking into one of them here. I don't have this is from Lance. But okay, so real quick, Rocky in Utica says, I saw a video of Brandon Williams at the Washington demonstration. He completely mischaracterized what happened. Brandon is standing some 30 feet above the sit-in demonstrators who are surrounded by police. They don't even appear to see him. The group was led by 25 rabbis and were singing Hebrew songs and reciting prayers from the Torah. They were not anti-Israel nor pro-Hamas. As Brandon told your audience, nothing brave about Brandon.
Well, I don't know. I do think that there were people in that protest that were certainly not pro-Hamas, but pro-Palestinian. And I have to say, we're in a place right now where if you disagree politically, and I'm sure I'm going to get slammed over this, and I'm just telling you that not only how I feel, but the way it is that in this country you can take a political stance, and it may not be the same political stance for many reasons, whatever the reason might be. But there are people who may support the Palestinians, the plight of the Palestinians, versus the Israelis. And while I do not agree with that, I think what was done to them I don't know what the life is like. I don't know what it's like living on the Gaza Strip. But I can say that going into people's homes and ripping out innocent people, holding them hostage, and et cetera, killing and shooting and maiming people, that is never the answer, and should never be a part of a political battle. So I cannot agree with supporting anything of what happened there. You and you cannot blame the Israelis for saying, Netanyahu for saying, we're going to rid the world of Hamas. We're going to wipe them from the face of the planet. Not the Palestinians, but the terrorist organization or the political group that leads in the Gaza Strip, Hamas. So, but it is not wrong, I don't believe, for somebody to have an opposing belief. It does not make them anti-Semites. And there's proof of that with this group of people who are protesting, because the majority of them were Jewish.
Let me
Not
see
that
here.
I support them, because that's going to come in next. Oh, you can't believe he's on here supporting Hamas. Never said that. Don't believe that. But it's hard to deny the fact that the people protesting in Washington D.C. on Wednesday were Jewish people calling for a ceasefire. Who are not fans of. Remember, there's politics here. Netanyahu is not absolute. The support of Netanyahu in Israel is by no means absolute. He is conservative, and there are plenty on the other side politically that don't agree with him, who would criticize what he's doing right now within Israel, despite what happened. Just my take on all of it.
Somebody sent me a photo here.
There's a photo, by the way, of Brandon Williams holding the flag on our website. It's a part of the story that I did yesterday. You can check that out. He is above. He's at the next level, looking down onto the next level down in that corridor, the rotunda, and he is waving the flag. I would imagine those people down on the ground could see him.
I got an image here from, I don't know where the protest was, but it's a group holding a banner that says Queers for Palestine, USYD Queer Action Collective. I'm not sure if this was from Washington, D.C. or at a college.
Jimmy Fallon was talking about that yesterday, and his take on it is if you're a gay and you're supporting the Palestine, it's kind of an oxymoron, because the belief there is very hard conservative religious in that the gays are not accepted, certainly by Hamas. So he said it's almost like you're a cow advertising for for a hamburger joint.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get that. Okay, so and then to completely switch gears, this is about Utica politics. Lance sent me. He said some of this is played out on Facebook, on Celeste's Facebook page. Jeff, as a Utica taxpayer, the latest back and forth on Facebook between the attack dog, that's Sam, and Katie Aiello just makes Utica look like a joke. Doesn't Samantha realize that this just gets Celeste's base fired up and makes the Galimi campaign look petty? And like I've said before, I'm not a fan of Celeste's policy politically, but she seems to take the high road when it comes to controversy. So I don't know what the extent of the back and forth was, or to be honest with you, what the exact issue was. It's something I've been trying to look up here this morning, but I don't see it.
One thing that I think that is worth at least talking about here is the fact that we have an election that's coming up, and by the way, early voting begins next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, and on the 28th. And one would say, well, it's going to be kind of a quiet election. There aren't a lot of races out there, but there are actually. There is the county executive race, which I think will be interesting, and I can't imagine that is going to be highly contested by Mr. Hennessy.
I don't think
he certainly doesn't come on here when I'm here. I don't know why that is. I've always thought we were fair, but called him on things when he said things that were inaccurate. I don't know how else to handle that. It's built in me. I can't help it. As for the two mayoral races, I think both of them are big, and both are important for the future of the individual cities, Rome and Utica. And I think both races are kind of exciting, right? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see who is the victor on that Wednesday morning.
I completely agree.
And will we know? Will it be close? Well, in Utica, will Bob Cardillo make a difference in all of this? Will the unaffiliated write-in candidate make any difference? And then you've got Celeste Friend, who's probably one of the more criticized candidates I think we've ever seen run for office in Utica, right? There are a lot of people that have gone after her hard.
Yes.
And then you have Mike Galimi, who is the Republican choice. I think that's going to be a very, very interesting race. And over in Rome, a very tight, close race in the primary, but an upset. Now you have the contender going against the incumbent, the contender on the Republican line, and the incumbent on the conservative line. So let's just talk about that. Will when everybody's voting, have people taken a different look at this, or will they support straight party line? Will they cross over and vote on the conservative line? Will Democrats are faced with voting for someone on a Republican line and on a conservative line. Are Democrats comfortable with doing that? Where will that race be when it's all said and done? I think these are two very, very interesting races.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the outcome is in both.
What else? We mentioned Kathy Hochul. There were a lot of comments on... Do you want me to break?
No, go ahead.
There are a lot of comments on Kathy Hochul and the fact of whether or not she should have gone to Israel. A lot of money spent, a lot of efforts and resources on keeping her safe.
Right.
Couldn't she have done the same thing in New York City by supporting the largest Jewish population in all of the United States? Did she have to go to Israel? I think those are all fair criticisms. Sadly, she learned just a few hours ago, overnight, that her father had unexpectedly passed away in Florida.
Yeah, it is sad. He was 87 years old, and I believe there's a photo of her you can find online. There's a wall, the West Wall in Israel, and people put notes in the wall.
She put a note in for her.
And they think it was something to do with her father.
All right, we'll wrap it up this morning with Willie Waffle. Wait till you hear the movie that's coming out this weekend, and I think it's a good one. Might make it worth going to a theater.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their knowledgeable staff, who know that every vehicle is different. And right now, it's the pre-season tire sale at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Buy any 4 installed Nokian snow or all-weather tires and $100 instant rebate. Get the tires you and your vehicle deserve at the best prices guaranteed. From Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
Hi, it's Joe Carbone from Power Sports of Utica. It's our end of the model year blowout sale. With over 450 units for sale. Save up to $3,500 on side-by-sides, $3,000 on snowmobiles, $3,000 on watercraft, up to $2,000 on 4x4s, financing as low as 1.99, save thousands on all used inventory. Save up to 70% on general merchandise. October 16th through the 28th.
Hi, it's James.
And Megan.
From the all-new Destination Kia of Utica.
And during our grand opening sales event, we have smoking deals on new Kias.
That's right. We were just able to get a truckload of new 2023 Kia Sportage LX all-wheel drive SUVs.
And you can lease one for just $388 per month for 36 months.
And that's with just $9.95 plus tax due at signing.
An all-wheel drive SUV that gets 32 miles per gallon highway?
Now that's kooky. It's just one example of the deals on over 250 new Kias, here and coming.
So go kooky for Kia at the all-new Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
2023 Kia Sportage LX all-wheel drive in P7206025. MSRP $29,950. 36 months, 30,000 mile lease, 20 cents per mile over. $995 plus tax and fees due at inception. $0 security deposit. $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure. $400 disposition fee. 720 plus FICO score. Kia January to December 2022 sales report. EPA rating. Offer expires 10/31/2023.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All right, let's go to the man. As we head into this rainy weekend, it's going to be much colder this weekend, and we might even have a frost by the end of the weekend. It may be the time to really pay attention to movies, entertainment, streaming. What are you going to do instead of being outside? And here he is, the man with a plan, Willie Waffle. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's everything going?
I love you call him the man with the plan. His plan is to stay in and watch something good on TV tonight.
Well, that's the plan. That is the
always the plan. I mean, what other plan should there be? Do you know that when you go out and interact with people, bad things happen? Don't you know that?
That is true. So you could, although I guess in the movie theaters you are interacting with people.
Well, ideally not. I mean, in a movie theater, ideally you're watching the movie, the people in the movie are watching the movie,
and hopefully,
they're not interacting and talking and singing and dancing like they are next door in that Taylor Swift theater, let me tell you.
That is, so it's funny, I talked to one younger person who said, actually, it might even be Devin. Was it you that said this, Devin, the other day? You would have gone to the Taylor Swift movie, but the thought that everybody was treating it like it was a real concert.
Yeah,
right? You were the one?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. I'm hearing that from people. It's like, I don't want to be a part of it. It looks stupid.
No, it's being encouraged by Taylor Swift, the cult leader herself.
That's right.
So
she
you know,
is the cult leader.
So you gotta know going in. I mean, let me tell you how it impacts things. So last night I was watching the Martin Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon.
This is what I want to know about. This is going to be something, I think.
And I'm next door to the Taylor Swift movie, and the Scorsese movie is kind of quiet and has its deep, thoughtful moments. And next door, I'm hearing "Shake It Off, Shake It Off, Shake It Off," because I can hear that movie almost better than I can hear the movie I'm watching.
You know why? Because the problem is that they're playing it in so many theaters now. It's like in 6 or 7 theaters. Yeah, you're right. They're making a lot of money. All right, so we'll get to all of that. I hate to be so self-indulgent, but first of all, I'll get to the movie in a second because I'm excited about this movie. But we started watching, and maybe this has been around for a long time, but they're doing a lot of repackaging and reissuing things that were, maybe released 5 years ago. I don't know about Beckham, if it's brand new or not. But we're really stuck on that. We're through episode 1, and it is quite interesting.
Yeah, so this is one of the new Netflix docu-series. It's, the story of Beckham and everything that's happened in his life and his family and his wife. And it's actually the #1 thing on Netflix right now. It's something like 11.6 million views over the course of a week. So yeah, no, it is brand new. You just kind of you came upon it maybe a couple days later.
A couple of days late. Well, I'm usually a couple days late and many dollars short. That's my life.
Well, if everything I've heard is that it's fascinating. I've avoided it because I just hate self-serving documentary series. Like I was worried that, oh God, they're just going to be lying about how fantastic they are and how wonderful their lives are, and then they'll throw in some phony baloney crisis that they had to overcome that wouldn't matter. But I hear that it's actually quite deep. It's quite revealing.
The one thing of course, we're only into episode number 1, but and by the way, I think he might be prettier than her. To be honest,
usually.
Right? They're both very good-looking people. Even today, as they've aged, they're still very good-looking people. But I got to say that there was a major amount of jealousy with him on the field and off the field, which cost him, I think, probably his soccer career.
Yeah, I mean, when they make a whole movie called "Bend It Like Beckham," the other soccer players aren't very happy with you.
You're probably right.
They want to take down the pretty boy. They want to take down the guy who is getting all the attention that they feel they deserve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you seen that? Like people talk about Derek Jeter like this. Like I think Derek Jeter is one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived.
Sure.
But there are people like, oh, he was just an average shortstop.
Right.
Well, they're angry. They're jealous. They want to support an underdog, not the guy who's famous.
I think you're right. I think there is it's almost like the thing that you remember in high school with music. It's like people would love, they loved Peter Gabriel until one of his songs hit the top 40, and then all of a sudden he had sold out and he was no good anymore. Okay, let's switch. By the way, Willie Waffle, wafflemovies.com. Willie has been reviewing entertainment and movies for us. How long, Willie? I mean, we're going back.
Gosh, a while.
Many years.
Back. I mean, I want to say, oh Lord, 15 years, 16 years,
at
maybe.
Least. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of hair ago is how I look at it.
Well, I'm lucky. I kept mine. I'm
did.
very proud of that. I want to make that very clear. I still have my hair.
You're doing well. All right, Scorsese. This movie has been promoted for quite some time. I was shocked to find out it was actually going to be only in theaters to start. And that's how we're debuting, and you've seen it. What do you think?
Yeah, so it's called Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, this will be on Apple TV Plus soon. That's who financed this. That's who's behind the movie. You're right. There was really the original intention to maybe put it out in theaters just to let people know it was around, and then rush it to Apple TV Plus and have that be something that would drive subscriptions there. It looks like it might stay in theaters a little bit longer because they're really trying to make a big Oscar push, and for very good reason. So it's based on the true story. It is set in the 1920s in Oklahoma, and we learn about the Native Americans who are in the area who have found oil on their land. And they have become among the richest people on the planet, like literally among the richest people on the planet. And around them has grown this white community that is they're a service industry. They're drivers. They're taking care of the houses. They're maids. They're barbers. They're people who are kind of servicing that economy. And some of them aren't very happy about it.
Yeah.
And so we see Robert De Niro as this local town, kind of town father, if you will, who has developed a scheme. He and people around him are marrying the Native American women so that they can get the land rights to the oil money. And the plan is when they pass off, that will now be owned by these people. Well, they're not willing to wait. And so there are Native Americans being murdered at every turn.
Wow.
And now the FBI is looking into this.
And this is a true story, right? Based on a true story.
This happened, people. This literally happened. And so it really is just this slow building movie that I love the way it builds. Oh my God. I mean, starting off so quiet, so innocent. Leonardo DiCaprio, the new guy in town, he's Robert De Niro's nephew in the movie. And, he starts to see the opportunity. He marries off with one of the Native American women, and we see him getting deeper and deeper into this scheme, into this just effort to steal what is rightfully not theirs. And we see him getting more evil and more evil as the movie goes along. It really is kind of a gangster movie in a lot of ways, as we see the extent of the law breaking that these people are willing to go through to just steal this money, to steal this land, and how it all plays out and what the final outcome would be.
What do you give this?
I'm giving it 4 waffles.
Wow.
I love it. I think there's just some really great dialogue in here. I mean, obviously, some of the best acting you're ever going to see, and just that the emotional and intense build that plays out over 3.5 hours. I'm not going to lie to you guys; it's 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
But man, it doesn't feel like that. You really do get engrossed in this story and in the storytelling, and just I think it's one of the best movies of the year, easily.
This could be one that brings you back to the movie theater.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, I in all honesty, I don't think you lose anything by watching it on streaming.
Okay.
How
long before it'll be streamed?
It's not a special effects spectacle.
How long before it'll be streamed?
I think that's up in the air.
Okay.
They're kind of waiting back, I think, to see if it strikes any gold at the theater.
Okay.
Obviously, it's not going to beat Taylor Swift. Let's not get crazy.
No doubt
there.
about it. Right.
But if they feel that they can get, $50, $60, $70 million out of a theatrical run, they may keep it there a little bit longer before dropping it onto streaming. That's kind of like what happened with the Netflix movie Air, the one that was about Michael Jordan and the shoe the shoe deal.
Right.
And they originally didn't plan on living in theaters that long, but it was doing so well. They're like, well, let's just keep raking in the money.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long it is until it hits Apple.
And what's it called again?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon. All right, 4 waffles out of 4 waffles, says Willie Waffle. Not bad. I don't think I've heard you say that in a long time.
I know.
It feels like it's been a really long time.
Not since Porky's 2, do I believe that he's gone out on a limb for a movie like this one. All right,
Well,
and then, remember those years.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin in Jeopardy again. I didn't know that they could actually do this, but it looks like they are.
It was a double Jeopardy.
A double Jeopardy, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Alec Baldwin could be facing charges again. So, they never really followed through on taking him to court and charging him with any kind of crime related to that horrible accident that happened on the set of his movie Rust. And the prosecutors in New Mexico, after kind of stopping the grand jury and not taking any charges months ago, they said, we reserve the right to bring these charges again if there's new evidence. And this week they said, we got new evidence. We're getting the grand jury together in a couple weeks.
Wow.
Now, what that evidence is, we don't know. But, they feel now that they have more evidence to take to put charges on Alec Baldwin. So he could be facing a lot of time in a courtroom very, very soon.
All right, good stuff there, Willie. The movie to see this weekend, Killers of the Flower Moon. All right. Check it out. Willie, thank you. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there. Thanks so much.
You guys, I'll talk to you next week.
Right. Willie Waffle, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Remember, Jimmy Fallon tickets are on sale, and the show is coming up along with Kennedy from formerly of MTV, coming up on Veterans Day at the Stanley Theater. And you can pick up your tickets. I heard from somebody just yesterday who I knew was going to go, Stefan. He's gotten his tickets, so he will be there. Go to Ticketmaster.com. News is coming up next, WIBX Utica, Rome.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Jim Jordan is not giving up. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I think the American people are thirsty for change. I think they are hungry for leadership.
So he hopes to be elected as House Speaker maybe today, though he's fallen well short in prior votes this week. 22 fellow Republicans did not support him in the last one. Without a Speaker, the House cannot vote on the military aid President Biden wants Congress to approve.
We certainly need to help Israel, but I got to see the package. But again, we can't do that if the House isn't open. All the more reason why we need to get the House open.
Now, the president wants lawmakers to approve that aid to help Israel fight terror and Ukraine battle Russia.
Hamas and Putin represent different threats, but they share this in common. They both want to completely annihilate a neighboring democracy.
Fox's Jackie Heiner reports from the White House. The $105 billion request covers
for Israel, border security, Taiwan and the Indo-Pacific, humanitarian assistance, but the bulk of this money would go to Ukraine. It's a larger amount that is expected to cover them for about a year.
Well, the president's getting Republican pushback for that Ukraine aid push. Senator J.D. Vance tells Fox
he shouldn't use dead Israeli children to do it. It was disgusting.
Now, on day 14 of Israel's war against Hamas terrorists, there's bombing in Gaza and rockets fired from it. Israel's defense minister told troops amassed near the border to get ready, suggesting a ground invasion's imminent. Israel's also dealing with attacks from Hezbollah militants in Lebanon. There's a manhunt in Maryland for whoever gunned down a circuit court judge outside his Hagerstown home, prompting police to provide protection to other judges in the area.
Washington County deputies say they responded Thursday night and found 52-year-old Andrew Wilkinson in his driveway bleeding. They rushed him to the hospital where he died.
That's Fox's Carmen Roberts. A Washington, D.C. police officer is in stable condition the morning after being shot and seriously wounded by a gunman who was killed in return fire. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Pure Talk, America's wireless company, is on a mission to alleviate $10 million in military debt by Veterans Day, but they're going to need your help. Now, Pure Talk will donate a percentage of every new order to this great cause. When you make the switch, they make it simple, fast, and easy to their super fast 5G network. Talk, text, plenty of data now, only at $20 a month. Do it right now. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword SAVE NOW. Make the switch to Pure Talk, and you can help a military member in need.
Mostly cloudy skies, 55 degrees. WIBX News Time is 9:03. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaski. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's. Reclining sofas starting at $399 each. A huge selection of Rocket recliners at $299 each. My Carl's in the new Hartford Shopping Center. Well, Governor Kathy Hochul is back in the state of New York after spending the last few days in Israel. The governor talked about her trip yesterday, saying she spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other leaders during the visit. She also expressed a desire for American hostages to return home, including those who are connected to New York State. Some sad news for the governor. During her trip, she learned that her 87-year-old father had unexpectedly passed away. Police in Yorkville say they seized untaxed cigarettes, marijuana, edibles, vapes, and other prohibited material from the Yorkville Cigar Shop and Discount Beverage Center on Oriskany Boulevard. Authorities obtained a search warrant through the district attorney's office as well as the Office of Cannabis Management after uncovering a large quantity of illegal merchandise. Police say the shop's owner and an employee were arrested. The store was previously raided back in April. And after several months of work, the Adirondack Railroad is ready to resume services to Tupper Lake. Miles of lines had been rendered inoperable because of repeated washouts and storm damage over the summer. Multiple lines were shut down for repair. The Adirondack Railroad president says service to Tupper Lake is about to be restored, with service connecting the area to Utica and Old Forge resuming next week. WIBX News Time is 9:05. Your Weather Center forecast. Wet and chilly this weekend. Mostly cloudy skies with a possible rain shower this afternoon. Today's high 65 degrees. Overnight tonight, cloudy, showers likely, a low of 53. Rain on Saturday, a high of 57. Sunday, cloudy skies, and we are expecting to see more rain showers with a high of just 47. Right now, cloudy, 55. It is 9:05. Stay tuned. Brian Kilmeade is next on your news, talk, and sports leader, WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1870.